Welcome to Around the Mage Table. This is episode Nintendo 64 of the podcast for the rest of us. If I sound a little hoarse, it's because I'm a little exhausted, but I'm going to first start by saying hello to my fellow hosts that are hopefully going to carry this episode for me so I don't have to lose my voice. Starting with, I ask you, how you doing today, bud?
I can't hear you. All I'm hearing is nay, nay. Because your voice is sounding hoarse.
Oh.
Because he's hoarse.
I'm a dad and I didn't even get that dad joke. Okay, fair enough.
That's rough, dude.
I ask you, if this were the original format of the show, I'd muted you right there. Lithian, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just chilling. Yeah.
And Scrapclaw, how about yourself?
I'm good. I'm a little concerned that, new viewers, that's the first experience the rest they're going to get.
of the dad joke.
Imagine knowing me in real life.
Okay, well, let's jump straight into it, okay? Because a lot of us, first off, we're doing the episode a little later than we had promised, and I think I even said this last week. It might be because we had our annual Extra Life Marathon streaming event on Saturday this past weekend. We raised almost about $1,500, which is awesome. And we went 24 hours straight of gaming. Shawnee was there for almost, I think, the entire 24 hours. I don't think he stepped out for a break. Lithian, you were there for a good bit of it. I'd say you took like a 3-hour nap. Scrap was there for, like an hour. No, actually, that's not true. You were there from midnight to 4, absolutely sending me to the, the raft.
And then I was there from 8 to midnight. So it was 8 hours. It's a third.
More like 9 to midnight, but okay. And I asked you, where were you, bud?
I was having a nice me weekend. I was doing some playing with my buddy James.
So a wee weekend.
Classic WoW. He was actually watching you, I think, the entire day on Sunday. So
he was.
He watched.
Played some of that. Did some repo. Tried this new game out called Enigma Files, which is it's supposed to be like a LA Noire detective-y type game that you play with other people, and it's in super playtest early access, and it's really ridiculous because it's super buggy and glitchy. It's really funny.
I forgot about LA Noire. That game was crazy awesome.
Oh yeah. So sorry I wasn't really around. I did type in chat to make fun of Frank for dying a lot in Dota, which I don't know if it was his fault or not, but
to recap the evening, we started out with Peak, which of course Scrap and I didn't make it past the second biome, typical fashion.
Wait, can I make a side for the people?
Sure.
I did make it to the peak this week. Me and my husband. I've been telling everybody it's a huge flex. The first time I've ever made it to the peak. Okay, Frank, go on, tell them how we spent 2 hours and didn't make it past level 2.
So we spent 2 hours and we just honestly dicked around. We brought Flux back into it, despite us knowing that we shouldn't listen to him, and then look where that got us. But more amazingly, we played Chained Together, which has now become a staple for this charity event. We only play it during the charity event. For those who don't know, Chained Together is like 4 of you are chained together, and you have to climb this platforming puzzle from hell to heaven. And we've now probably played it a total of 4 or 5 hours. We've made it, I'd say, halfway.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, based on this little indicator on the side. But I would say that it is absolutely bringing us to the edge of what our friendship can handle. Lithian has adopted the new nickname of Meatbag, despite the fact that I think that we were we were being more hard on him than maybe some other people in the party who should have deserved it.
I was directly calling Shawnee Meatbag to his face.
To his face. Oh.
Yeah.
And then, so, from that hour, because that's where Scrap went to bed, and I think Lithian, you went to bed soon after. I just played, I did some keys and WoW and stuff, and I got, no, I didn't get Resilient 16 yet, but I'm close. And then that's where I started crashing out. So I started getting sick in the middle of the stream, like my throat and my nose were kind of closing up. And I did some 16 Arakaras, and I did some Dota games as I was pointed out.
He did a 16 Arakara 5 times in a row with a very patient healer who he begged for his key.
Thanks for ruining my story there. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're going into the story.
If you look into the middle of the stream, you'll see me crashing out. Not in necessarily a way that I'm screaming or shouting, but I was just really hard on myself because I was playing. The people say that when you're deprived of sleep, you cognitively perform differently. And at the moment I was playing, I didn't feel tired. I didn't feel necessarily drained, but I could very well tell that my like reaction time was much lower than it normally is. And so I spent my entire time doing keys, like frantically trying to stay alive as opposed to DPSing as well as I should. So yes, to your point, Scrap, I was playing poorly. And then I took your advice, Scrap, actually, from the wheel character, right? And from what you've said to people in the podcast before about how to get N plus keys. You said, whenever you apply to send them a whisper, to put a funny note in the chat or the little box. And so I just said, I'm going to do that. Someone had a 16-hour car, which I needed. And I just said, like, hey, man, I'm in a competition. I need this key to win, right? And so they whispered back. They're like, what are you talking about? I told them that about the wheel competition. And they said, okay, cool. And they invited me. And then I even told him about the fact that we were on the stream doing the charity stream. And he's like, oh, cool. He ends up watching the stream. He ends up joining Discord. We have a good time. But of course, we like he had a resilient key. We bricked it 6 times in a row to the point where Phoenix, who's also in the wheel competition, was trying to sneak his way into my keys so he could get me kicked out. He did successfully do that. And again, I crashed out there. Anyways, we did get that key done, which was awesome. I was in a much better mood after that. And then we played some Jackbox, which of course is always fun.
Oh, love Jackbox.
We have a new winner of T-shirt of the year that I have ordered. I will put a picture of that on the screen.
I'm wearing the old one today. I thought it'd be.
Oh, are you?
Oh, yeah. I should
actually
get on the screen because it's black most of the.
Is that the I'm indifferent about Taco Tuesday?
Okay, I don't know. Will this be on camera? Frank, if I.
No, you're good. Yeah.
That was my caption. I just want to put that out there.
I drew. That's my artwork right there.
Dude,
is he on a laptop? Is that what's going on? He's like on
he's on a laptop. You can't see it because it's dark. Could you see it on the picture?
Yeah.
Okay. It says it's just a guy sitting on his computer with the sun shining. Like
that's my really bad artwork.
But I'm indifferent about Taco Tuesday.
the new one is just so bad.
Yeah,
dude.
tell us about it, Lithium.
It's a picture of Frank.
No, you have to explain it, Lithian. You're not going to explain it right.
Oh no, Scrap's holding a Diet Coke. We don't have to listen to it.
Go ahead and explain it if you want
I'll
to explain it.
Okay, so we played Quiplash, which me and Flux
I forgot about that part.
We both have really good senses of humor that nobody else understands. So we always kill at Quiplash. And Lithium was going on about, it's like, oh, no, you have to be really smart to be good at this game. You have to have like really high IQ, blah, blah, blah. And then of course he gets last and second to last place in both games. So we can't let that go.
Can I jump in about your claim that you and Flux are so funny and that you're really good at the game? Now granted, Flux did win, so I can't argue that.
No, out of 4 games, we did 2 draw games and 2 Quiplash games. Flux and I won all of them.
So here's the thing though. Viewers, she says she's really funny, but the very first win on Quiplash was a prompt that had something to the effect of, the most deadly blank shark. And the one that those 2 people, well, I think Flux wrote it and Scrap voted for it, was shark.
I wrote it.
It was the most deadly shark, and they thought it was the funniest thing ever. So anyways,
it was,
no wonder our stream didn't do as well as I'd hoped. I set a lofty goal, and that's where you guys were setting the bar.
Are you sure it wasn't because you didn't guarantee to shave your head if they'd made the goal?
So there was a stint there where people were donating $10 to have me shave my head, and then I ended up superimposing a picture of me. I'll put it up here as well.
It was great.
Next year you're shaving the head though. If we
absolutely not.
The goal. But you don't know. It might be
Can we talk? Hold on. Okay, can we talk about that for a second? Because the whole
we're getting off the shirt track. I was only halfway through telling the shirt story.
Came up. No, because it's part of the shirt.
What's going on?
The whole bit started because Lithium just started trying to make me feel bad that my hair is thinning.
I was not.
I said Lithium, not Scrap. Scrap, you are not the center of the entire
I would never. I mean, look at my hair, dude.
I was towing the line, okay?
All right, so tell us about the shirt, Scrap.
Let me go back to the shirt. So Lithian's going on about how you're really smart to win Quiplash, and then the shirt competition, people draw pictures, and then you match up with slogans, and the you're gonna put up on the screen, Frank, right?
Yeah. Well, I already had, but yeah.
Of Frank, but it looked more like Lithian anyway, because I wanted to draw Frank bald. It just looked like Lithian, and then somebody matched it up with a shirt that said like you actually have to be really high IQ to be good at Quiplash. So that's the shirt.
It was a
joke. It was a joke.
Yeah, he's trying to backtrack that it was a joke, but that's the only way you can save face on it. Honestly.
No, in order to be funny with our group, you got to be dumb as hell.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I'm tapped into the humor.
There was another shirt that I really wanted to win. It was a picture that Scrap. It was a picture that Scrap drew of what was effectively supposed to be me and Lithian at BlizzCon in Hawaiian shirts, both bald. But for some reason, like we had some viewers from the stream who were like trolling the votes to like sway it to this vampire picture that said something about me being a, what was the word that they used? The
I don't remember. It was
papacito
in
or something like
Spanish.
that.
Oh gosh.
Papacito, what the fuck?
Something, I don't remember what it is, but anyways, so then we went on to play a few games of like Liar's Bar, and we finished as we always do with Among Us and Fall Guys and all that stuff. It was a great day. I was a little
It's
under
so
the
fun.
weather, so I'm happy I made it through it. And thank you to everyone, especially those of you that came from YouTube and Twitch to donate. Again, it was again, I'm not trying to be too hard on myself, because at the end of the day we did raise money, and you guys all came together to try to do that. But I did set a lofty goal, and I was disappointed by it. But I hope next year we can smash the record again. So that was the charity stream.
It's a tough year, man.
It is a tough year. I get it.
God, yeah.
I could tell, especially by some of the donations, that people were like trying to be conscious about their budgets, which is fair enough.
Yeah, I think last year I donated like 200 when we played Minecraft. This year I donated 10 to shave your head.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else we want to talk about before we jump in?
No, let's jump in.
All right, cool.
Nah, it's joking.
We actually, I want to start with some non-WoW related news that I saw today. Okay, so Scrap.
Oh.
What?
First screenshots of the Zelda movie. Now
Is that
you
real
are.
or AI?
No, this is real.
Yeah.
Miyamoto posted them. So
I like it. She's kind of in a Breath of the Wild outfit.
you are on the record of saying that you love the Zelda timelines and how they
No,
are convergence.
no.
I just wanted to
I'm
get
not.
your thoughts real quick, and Lithian
Yep.
and I, if you have any, you can jump into about. Do you think the Zelda movie is going to be a good gamer movie?
I think a good game movie has a very low bar. Like, there's not a lot of good video game movies. So
Better or
I-
worse than
I
the
think-
Warcraft movie?
yeah. I think it would be easy to not make this a bad movie, but they, I don't know. I don't know who's directing it. I don't know who's producing it. All kinds of. I'm not going to expect a video game movie to be a good movie, because that would be stupid based on
Yeah.
data.
You ever see that World of Warcraft movie?
I love the World of Warcraft
I liked
movie.
it.
Okay,
I
shut
liked
up.
it. I can understand why people didn't, but I liked it.
It's not a good movie, but I fucking love the WoW movie. I would watch it right now. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Zelda's weird because the way the games are structured doesn't lend itself well to like a cinematic narrative. So I think they'd have to kind of rein it in a way where they can kind of just keep it focused on like some kind of journey between the two characters, especially because it looks
Yeah.
like here they're kind of journeying together. I
It looks
think
like a
if you're
Breath of the Wild-esque
Yeah.
show.
Well,
if
Breath of the Wild, they're not joining together,
I-
so
I think it's important to temper expectations. You're gonna get a movie that probably has references, but maybe it'll be like a Jack Black Minecraft thing where they just go balls to the wall all in and don't care what people think. But I think if it's gonna be good, you just gotta temper your expectations, understand it may not be able to capture the spirit of the games, but they could still make something really cool if they are able to find a way to do it.
This
I
is
think with something
but-
like this also that isn't like Zelda. I know a lot of people want to cope, but it's not a very narrative heavy game
Nope.
series. Like, and so they have a
but it
perfect
could
kind of
be, it
blank
could be.
slate. But no, it could be. That's what's nice is they kind of a blank slate. There's like some things that need to be in there. It needs to be a Triforce. It needs to be Ganon. There's Zelda and Link and stuff like that. He's probably gonna fight an Octorok, But like,
Yeah.
they don't have to stick to any specific script, and
Yeah.
that could actually make it a way better movie than if they were trying to capture like some like 40-hour game script into a
But-
watchable experience.
So okay, a little fun fact about me. When I was in college, I was in a screenwriting class, and I actually wrote a screenplay for what I thought would have been a better idea is a Zelda series, like a show, because I feel
Yeah.
like let's take Ocarina of
see that.
Time, right? There's 9 dungeons in there. There's no way you're gonna be able to play the greatest hits of that game in a single movie,
Yeah.
right? But imagine
you
it
don't
over a
have
course of like a 10-episode series where 3 episodes are dedicated to the idea of going to the temple of this and temple of that. And you could kind of like really build the world out around it. So it's just like the Warcraft movie. Like, how busy was the Warcraft movie? Because they had to be in like 15 places at once.
Yeah.
It's better served as a show. So I get why they're doing a movie because that's where like millions upon billions of dollars will be, especially with Super Mario.
I think if any game could be a movie, this makes more sense as a movie than a show to me. Whereas like The Last of Us,
Really?
obviously that has to be a show because it's like a 30-hour game, right? Like
Yeah.
and it's
But
so
Zelda's
story
a
heavy.
30-hour game.
No, but you're not doing story for
narrative.
30
Okay,
hours.
okay.
You're doing story for 1 hour.
Okay.
So like and a half, maybe even. And so it's perfect.
1 hour and a half.
Yeah, no, it's not 30 hours of story content like it is with Last of Us. So
Last of Us was all right.
I
It
haven't
would,
watched the show actually, but I heard it's really good.
I haven't watched the newest season.
It would be cool if they found a way to work this into the actual Zelda timeline as like an official
Don't
part of the
start.
canon.
They probably
That's,
are
that's where
going to.
Scrap loses her mind about the Zelda stuff.
I hate the Zelda timeline. It pisses me off.
You know what the greatest video game movie of all time is though?
What? Pitch.
GoldenEye.
Go, hold on. But it came
What a
first.
jackass. All
No,
right.
so I love Detective Pikachu, but
That's a good movie.
the best video game movie, and this is a weird one, is the Japanese Phoenix Wright movie. And you would think Phoenix Wright is such a dense story. It's a visual novel game, puzzle solving game that's like extremely dense and complex. And you're like, how the fuck would that be a good movie? They had an extremely like artistic director, and he did a fucking awesome job. If you like Phoenix Wright and you haven't seen it, it's kind of obscure. It's hard to find. But there was a Phoenix Wright movie adaptation that I think captured the kind of like fantasy of the series and like knocked it out of the park. That's my favorite video game movie.
They ever make a Mega Man movie?
No, I
did.
think they tried. I think they like developed
Oh.
one and then they didn't. Like
I
maybe there
thought- I
was
thought I
maybe there was
heard
like a
some.
straight to DVD kind of thing, right? Like Mega Man movie, but there was
Yeah.
no
We
big
haven't
time.
talked about WoW for like 20 minutes.
It's
17
fine.
minutes.
I was gonna say
Scrap,
we
thank
spent
you.
10 minutes talking about the what do you? Okay, Scrap
You're
wants us to
rambling.
move along. Everyone, sorry for us to trying to
I'm ready
broaden
to
our
move along.
horizons. Let's
does
talk
anybody
about
else
the
wanna pitch
Dead
the-
Season that she loves so much.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I
god.
know. I don't know why I want to talk about WoW. I'm not even playing it. So.
So no WoW November is going well for Scrap, and that is evident by the fact that our keys are in the worst state that they could be in.
Everybody
This
stopped when I
includes
stopped.
remix,
What a drop.
right? Now, so that being said, I only want to bring this up because Scrap mentioned that it's like so hard to find keys. I don't know, like don't get me wrong, it is hard to find a very specific key, but I'm not having trouble getting into my 16s and 17s, right?
Well, you're not having trouble getting into it because it's slim pickings. They're just like, oh my god, a live person is applying to my key.
No. That's the inverse, right? It's hard to find someone who's hosting a key. Like, yeah, you could argue tanks, maybe, right? But every time I host my key, I see millions of DPS applied. Now, are they qualified for it? That's another story. But there's still people out there who are wanting to push keys and push their IO. What is surprising though is the people who are doing like 12s and 10s. For some reason, they're extremely picky to the point where my Warlock has like a 3450 IO or something like that. And I'm not getting accepted into 12s for some reason. Like they're like,
That's funny.
we want more, higher, whatever. So that's strange. But to give the game a shot in the arm that it needs, next week is 11.2.7. And with it comes some prologue stuff, some more lore walking elf campaigns, right? That's pretty cool. Those you did those.
I didn't like the lore walking. Yeah, I did all the first 3 lore walking, and I thought it was it felt cheap. Like it wasn't
cheap.
It wasn't
Was
what
it
I wanted
budget?
out of lore walking. Yeah.
Well, the Brawlers Guild is the following week, which is
I'm all over. I was nerding out with Zigla about the Brawlers Guild. Like I cannot wait to do that.
Script, did you buy the book, the new one?
I haven't read a WoW book in a bit. I think the last one I read was the BFA one, and it pissed me off so bad I didn't.
I
read
need to
again.
check because I think I pre-ordered it, and I think they should be sending them out soon. That's why I was wondering because I know
I've
some
read
people
some
have
of
gotten
the
them.
the short stories they post on the website and stuff, but like honestly, I'm just kind of a little bit sick of the way that they write characters in the books and then they don't write them the same way in
Yeah.
the questing story. It's like they completely ignore it. And then I feel like a lot of the books, like the ones that are like expansion release ones, like the Cataclysm one and the BFA one, I don't even remember what they're called. They feel very much like a sales pitch for the expansion and not like this is a cool story we thought could make a book like some of the
Gotcha.
older ones do. Like I feel like the older character feature ones, like the Arthas book and stuff, it was just like a cool retelling of the story. My favorite one is called The Last Guardian. It's the Medivh story. It's like the story of the Warcraft movie, but from Khadgar's perspective specifically. And it is so fucking good. I wish I had my copy on my desk. I can show you. I've read it so many times. It's like a total comfort book to me. If you haven't read it, it's very good. Although they did end up retconning a lot of the stuff in there. Like Garona was supposed to be like Medivh's kid. And there's just like a lot of stuff they definitely retconned later.
So what's in 11.2.7?
Well,
Sorry,
so of course,
Very good.
Housing Early Access will officially open up to those
Oh yeah,
who
that's right.
pre-ordered. So we are a week away from having our houses, at least for those of us who've pre-ordered. I felt like when we did the play test, we didn't invest in it because we knew it was going to be wiped away. But now we're going to have full access. We're going to be able to start hunting down all the decor that we want. I think, Lithian, you've said you're not that excited about this kind of stuff. Is that right?
No, my house is just going to be a square with a bed in the middle.
It's like Minecraft.
And then I'm going to give Scrap full permission to do whatever she wants with all my stuff.
I wanted to
So,
run
it'll
it
be
by you
fine.
because I watched a video where they were having like things that extend from their own lots into other people's lots, and I wanted to make like a rickety boardwalk
Oh, yeah,
walk
bring it
up
on.
to your
Let's go.
house.
Well,
Like,
I've got some things to show you guys around this later, so we'll come back to that, right? But what are some other things the game could be doing to bring back players? Well, they did nerf Kyveza because everyone loves that boss and they wanted to make it easier.
I'm sad they actually
Yeah,
nerfed
I
it.
wanted to
'Cause
ask you guys how you felt.
I wanted
I've
to
never
say
done it.
like I got it before the nerf, but I think it's as necessary. I felt like the degree of imperfect facing was a little unfair. I can't wait they waited this long. I can't believe they waited this long to fix it. Like,
Well, that was my follow-up question too, is like, why now?
yeah, I don't know why now. It like I assumed that when they made it that difficult, like people were still getting it. It wasn't like it was impossible. Like they were just trying to say, this one, you're gonna have to put a lot of extra work into it to really learn this fight, and learn it to be perfect. So this is
I
kind of a slap in
wonder.
the face to people who got it. I feel like
I
already.
wonder if they saw like success numbers this year compared to this season compared to
yeah.
last
But
season.
why would they care? It just makes it more exclusive.
If they see low success numbers, they might want to bump it up to make it easier for people.
Yeah, but maybe it's the
Cute.
same reason why you, me, and Scrap, like we just
haven't
haven't really
touched it.
given the energy it deserves.
Yeah, I put about an hour of attempts into it, and like what I understood from it, like I was able to get to the cup shuffle twice, but at my gear level a couple weeks in, she wasn't even at half health at that point, so I was like gonna have to do the cup shuffle like maybe 3 more times, and I had gotten to that point on like the grace of God. Like I was not consistent with this facing thing. I just happened to like nail it. And I sat down after an hour. I was like, I can do this. It's just gonna be a grind, like to really get this consistent. And I was like, I'll do it later. I was under no pressure. I was like, there's no way Lithian or Frank is gonna get this like at this stage.
I
So I didn't have
haven't
any
even
pressure.
tried.
Yep.
I think
haven't even tried.
the fact that a lot of people are resorting to either getting the weak aura where they can put like a green line to be the exact center so you're facing perfectly,
Yeah.
or the fact that people are also getting weak auras that hides their entire UI during that part just so they can see exactly.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to nerf it because like Scrap said, it's just you need to be like it's not enough to just face it. You need to be facing it. You need to be
Perfectly.
perfectly like straight on with it. Like people recommend you backpedal to make sure like you turn and then can actually like be facing it. Like it's just I like the idea. I think it's a cool mechanic, but I think in a situation like this when there's not an exact visual tell to know exactly how you might be
How off you
slightly
are.
off,
Yeah.
without there being like a green line and then like a straight green line in the middle of your screen a weak aura, then I think that it's a good idea to nerf it. And
I really think
I
this
just
fight. Oh, sorry, go on.
no, I was gonna say I just don't know. Also, don't understand why if this was something that was important to them, it took them so long. Maybe they just didn't realize it was an issue, or maybe they didn't think about it. I don't know, but
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
not
it's
a
fine.
priority.
I do think this fight will be greatly improved. Like I was talking about with Zigla earlier, that I do feel like this one was less fun because it feels very unfair because of how like perfect the facing has to be. Like if it was instead of like your facing was like this, if you could have like a cone where you're like good inside the cone. I mean, honestly, just like a 180 facing would be the most generous. Like maybe it was fast, but you just had to not have your back to it. which is a lot more, you know, we're used to not having our back to things as just like a concept, but like having to have a window where like you have like, I don't know, like 5 degrees of wiggle room and there's nothing to tell. It just didn't feel as fair. It didn't keep up with the other mechanics of the fight, which felt like, okay, I can kind of understand it and see how to move my character, where to use my defensives and follow a cup shuffle. I do it with my finger. But yeah, this mechanic definitely felt like it was out of step with the difficulty of the other one. So I think this will be a good change. And I'm sorry to the people who already got it. You guys are gamers. Only you will know that.
So that was another thing that I was going to bring up. I think we briefly talked about it on the podcast about how there will be a Hall of Fame for the question mark bosses each season. When they originally put the achievement in, it was like the first 1,000 people, which I think is insane. But they bumped it to 10,000 people. So the first 10,000 people who do it will get a Hall of Fame achievement.
Oh, I'm gonna push for that actually.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask, is that something you think will entice you to make sure you do it sooner rather than later?
Well, I kind of wish they made it so that it's like if you get it within the first 2 weeks or something, then that could count, because then it's not like, then I know my window of time. Whereas if it's 10,000, I don't know if I have tomorrow or the day after.
Radar.io will, I'm sure, track it for people.
Yeah, I guess so. I would like that better. I understand it might make it less exclusive. I don't know how long it'll take 10,000 people to beat it. But I just know that there's like tons of people who are going to have way better gear. Like it's going to be easier for them to do, because they'll have to just do the mechanics less. But I mean, I'm a grinder, dude. Like I will sit and do 300 and 400 attempts and not get bored. So I can see this in my reach, maybe.
Compared to do we know the exact number of players that get title every season in theory?
Yeah, it's about 800, 900.
Oh, okay, so it's not even 10,000. Okay, so then it's more than, yeah. Yeah, I wonder, with stuff like this coming out, will meta start to form where people are just going to blood decay it or something early on? I think people will be good enough to.
Yeah, there always is like 3 classes that are better at it.
You know, you're gonna have like Tettles do it on like Boomy or whatever, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if it's one of those things where a lot of people are able to kind of cheese it, or if people are able to do it legit, or we'll see how it plays out, I guess.
That's a good point. Maybe I can start with my hunter so that I can switch to BM, because BM always cheeses these fucking
why don't you just do it on your wheel character, man?
My shaman? I mean, I could do this on my wheel character is my best geared character. I probably
Exactly.
do this on it. But for next season, I'm talking about.
Oh, next season? What are you playing next season?
I was gonna play my warrior, I think. Have you guys gotten back to me on what the,
So I'm gonna be based on what I know about you. I've been seeing nothing but Doom for Survival Hunter.
Can we talk about beta in a minute? Just let's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We got. Hey, look.
Stop jumping the gun, guys.
I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot on the docket today. I want to make sure I keep things in a flow.
Guys, stay tuned for beta talk. It's
stay tuned for beta. It'll be literally in like 1 minute.
Okay.
All right. Well, look, Scrap. If this isn't enough to bring you back to WoW in November, okay?
No, I'm not doing it in November. I'm coming back in December.
No, this is geared towards you, Scrap. This is their calling card to you. This is the bat signal in the air saying, Scrap, come back, right? But it's not working. This hasn't hooked you yet, right?
No, I'm good.
Well, good news.
I'm free.
They're bringing the Brutosaur back.
I don't care. I'm not buying.
Yeah, I know you don't give a shit.
This is a joke setup, okay?
No, can I say though that so I don't normally think that people on the potty sea are truly out of touch with their opinions, I'm just gonna say. But Dorky went on a rant talking about how much WoW has cost him in the past year. And his big tentpole to that argument is the Brutosaur. And I just kind of felt like we've had this conversation before with like what is free in the game versus is stuff like this okay. And I was just like, well, nothing said that Dorky or anyone had to buy this mount. There is arguably there is a reason why you are very FOMO'd to want to get it. But as you've pointed out, Scrap, if just one of the people in your main group, right, has it, you have it.
I have never had a problem finding an auction. This is, dude, so what does this do for you, player power-wise? You don't have to walk 3 steps to Dornagle, like, okay, you're in a key.
No, if you forget something, it saves you a headache, right?
Whatever, dude, that's not player power. Like, stop being lazy.
No,
you don't need to spend the $90. Your fucking friend will buy it. Like, all my friends have it. It's
All
fine.
your friends have it? Is that
Yep.
us?
Yeah, exactly. I say auction house, please, and then I get it.
Oh,
No
do you
$90
snap your
required.
fingers too?
Yes, I do. I snap my
I'm
fingers.
not doing it for you ever again.
It was
Whatever.
it
I'll
was
walk the
surprising to
portable.
hear
Like,
Dorky get really upset about this because he's like, oh, like WoW's taking so much money from me. It's like,
What's he
dude,
upset about? You don't
Frank
you don't
calls
have to
out the
buy
potty
this.
C.
no, I even left a comment
fine.
on it. I was like, dude, Dorky, come on, man. Like this is an out of touch take because I get it. Look, if you want to
Dorky,
argue,
baby.
yeah, if you want to argue that like you have to pay $50 for the expansion, you have to pay what is it like we'll just call it $150 a year for the game, right?
Yeah.
But of all people, like this is the way, and we've talked about this before. The way I've always valued like, is it worth the money? Is I'm paying in this case, let's call it $200 a year. What am I getting in return? And my return on investment is significantly higher than any other game that I'm paying for, any other movie that I'm paying for, any other, right? Like I only pay, I think I get like Peacock, for example, for like $6 a month, right? So I'm only paying $60 a year for it. But I just watch SNL and like some late night shows, and that's it. I'm not getting jack shit out of it that I probably couldn't even get on YouTube. Whereas with WoW, and I'm not even Dorky. Dorky plays it way more than I do. With WoW, I'm getting like hand over fist my money back from the entertainment value that I'm getting from it. These are examples of things you don't need to buy. And even if you did, like, you did it because you really wanted it. It's like,
yeah.
I mean,
Wild.
I don't know who Dorky is, but it sounds like he
you do know who he is because you post his videos all the time. What were you trying to say?
who is he?
I
Which
find
one
it
is he?
wild. I find it wild that someone like Dorky, and not that I want to call anyone out in particular.
Oh,
but,
we're coming after the potty C, baby.
all right, Potty C, you're in our sights. Get ready. Third biggest WoW podcast. So Dorky, you said he was talking. I didn't get the chance to hear this yet. Him talk about how much money he spent in WoW, but I would also like to see how much money he earns from playing WoW. Because, because
I left that out on purpose. I even said in the comment, like, I'm not going to call that out because at the end of the day, like, it's not like the game is. I mean, he's doing his work. It's like he's earning it. I'm not trying to. Yeah.
No, definitely.
I agree. I thought that same thought you did, but I'm just saying, like, I threw that to the side. You know what? I'm not gonna. Whatever.
I'm not coming after your bread, Dorky, but
yeah.
Better start baking.
No, actually, it's funny because Max was streaming. I think it was on Saturday, and he talked about how there's a severe underrepresentation of the dads who play WoW at the end of the day, or the people who are quote unquote casual. Now, granted, I would argue, and I'm sure Max has as well. We're not necessarily casual the way we play.
I'm casual.
Well, you play like a casual, that's for sure.
Exactly, I'm casual.
But that like it's underrepresented to not have those people who play for the world first or the 0.1% of the I got into a fight with JB on Twitter today because again I think his perspective is this idea that the 0.1%'s perspective is way off from what the everyday players is, and he's an egregious example of where he like doesn't have the understanding or empathy to like say it's okay for like 99.9% of the players that this is exactly what we want. But anyways, I just thought it was funny that Max has brought up the fact that there isn't that representation, which will give me an opportunity to remind everyone to subscribe to our channel because we're really trying to grow and get interviews and yada yada yada. So please continue to help us grow.
So
Yeah,
at least two of us are dads.
You weren't arguing with Justin Bieber. I thought you were arguing.
Yeah, I was like, who the hell is JB?
No, and again, Lithian, you know who this person is because you talk about J.B all the time.
No,
you post his videos all the time.
Hold on, time out. I didn't know who it was till you showed me the picture, and then I remembered it's the angry guy on TikTok. Yeah, that's the only reason I know that guy. Because his TikToks come up and he's so angry. I don't know why he's so angry, but he's so angry. He should really see somebody about that.
Well, I mean, Io pointed it out. He says he does it for the bit, but then you like get in a conversation with him, and you're like, "This isn't a bit. You're actually upset." But okay, whatever.
I mean,
I like most of the time I not only agree with him, but I like feel like he has a very well thought out point. But then there's sometimes where it's just
angry guy.
Yeah, but there's sometimes where he's just like being divisive for the sake of being whatever. Okay.
Frank's also an angry guy.
So this isn't bringing you back, Scrap?
Well, no. I'm not. I'm never gonna buy this. I am never gonna buy this.
Wait, hold on. Did I gotta
I don't think
apologize. I
it's
think I said
$10.
that this was coming out next week. It is not coming out next week. We are 2 weeks away.
Oh my god, edit it out. We have to start over.
No, we're not starting over.
There's a holiday in there. There's a holiday in there. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll take this opportunity to say though, we are not going to be doing an episode next week because of the holiday. Just letting everyone
I'm
know.
traveling.
Well, I've also got family in town, and
I'm
you guys should
scoping
all be
out-
doing stuff with your families too.
Yeah, I'm scoping out Anaheim for you guys.
Yeah, you're gonna be there. What do you mean, you guys?
For us guys.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's talk beta
She's
now.
not going.
Okay, are you ready for beta?
Oh, beta. Oh, let's talk
Okay.
about
Now that we're in beta real quick, I just want to say, Scrap, I think you're going to want to end up playing your warrior because
Okay.
it sounds like survival's dooming. And I saw enhancement also still can't track that Maelstrom thing you're real big on. So I
they
think
can't?
warrior all the way.
Listen,
Mhm.
people doom on survival all the time. That's
That's
no
'cause it's
different
bad
than
all the time.
that's no different than any other season, and Scrap still plays it.
You
And
know
the
what they should
Maelstrom,
do? They should just rip up the survival changes. They say, you know what? You guys love season 4 of Shadowlands. It's
Yeah.
just that. Then everybody
well,
would freak out and
yeah,
love it.
it's fine. It's fine. And then the Maelstrom tracker thing, that'll get fixed. That'll
Well,
get
okay.
fixed. That's it.
I don't think
That's
it
not a
will.
hang up.
So the first thing I wanted to call out about the beta is that it seems like they're now moving on to class tuning, and they're not really doing that much class change. Now there are
haven't
some
seen anything
examples
big.
where they're like coming up with new talents and removing some stuff. It doesn't sound like it's too crazy, and I think actually Blood DK is still missing the talent, right? Isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's several classes missing talent still.
Yeah. So like what I'm trying to call it though is that like there's not any major overhauls it looks like left. They're trying to go into this like, okay, let's lock in phase. But this is a great time to get on the beta and start talking about how your class feels. Starting this week, so starting I think when this episode airs, it'll be tomorrow. We will have M Plus opened up. In fact, let's see, I got that up here somewhere.
You're supposed to
Where is it?
organize your
There we go.
tabs.
I did. I was jumping ahead. So I haven't read through this yet. I figured we could go on ahead and go through it together. But the first thing I wanted to call out is that the Zaltath's affixes have been updated. I think all these are good changes. So they've increased the cast time for Cosmic Ascension, which I think is the
Oh, they just nerfed everything?
yeah.
Look,
yeah.
I know we don't engage with affixes anymore because we're always doing 12 ups, but are you a little disappointed
Wow.
they're not doing new affixes?
I'm a casual. I do affixes.
Honestly, like, sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
cut
go
you
on,
off
no.
there. But yeah, honestly, I thought when they announced these, this was going to be a midnight specific thing, and now that we see like Xalatath obviously is going to be a pretty big part of this expansion too, it seems. I'm disappointed that they're not going a different direction, especially. It just seems weird that they're going to keep doing the same ones. It really feels like they don't really have much in terms of affixes, really.
Yeah, I
And
mean, it'd
they're
be
just
cool if there
kinda
was a better
sending it again.
story application of the affixes, like, because it's like, I get it, like, the War Within, it's like, oh, we're not on our side, we are on our side, and we're not on our side. So, like, the Kiss Curse made sense, where she's, like, giving us dark gifts, and it's, like, annoying, but then we get a boost. But now it's just, like, she's just, like, full stop, not on our side, so I don't know, it
I don't
just
think
feels
that
like
was the lore of why she was doing it. It was just like she
Well, why
tries
would she do
she
that?
tries to curse us and we counter it, right? Like we go,
Oh, okay.
we're using
No,
it
but
against
she
you.
says, like, her voice lines are, like, I don't remember exactly, but they're, like, I'm giving you power and shit like that.
You don't even know the
What was the
lore,
voice line?
Scrap?
I know, I've heard the voice lines hundreds of times, but I thought even the voice lines kind of point to, like, a kiss curse in
They may have
voice
in the
line.
most recent one, given the state of what was going on in the story, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm
Either way,
gonna look into that.
either way, I agree with you to the sense that like it'd be nice if just the flavor felt a little different.
At least the flavor,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I'm willing to bet it's because Blizzard's like, well, look, the people who would be vocal about it, who would care, are not even seeing them anymore.
They're not engaging with it, yeah.
And the people who don't are just like, it's okay, whatever. We're like they're indifferent to it. So why pour the energy into it?
I
Now
mean,
they
I've
will
kind of
have
been
to for the last Titan because
Oh.
we assume Zaltath will
Yeah.
die or be defeated at some point.
Well, I
in-
am I've been forced to not engage with it pretty much because 12s are super below my play level, and I'm not saying like, oh, I've gotten so good, but like I feel like the
God.
slightly
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to
know,
say that like
forced.
people who are AOTC people. So how many people get AOTC? It was like 30%.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Look, for
Yeah,
the sake of argument,
30%.
let's say.
So
yeah.
if you're getting AOTC, then 12s are easy for you. Like even
Whoa.
you don't think so?
I think that's a very okay. First off, who's getting AOTC? Stoop, right? Flux, right?
12s are easy for Stoop. Like he can do 12s. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
He can do 12s when
He's
we
like
are in
the highest
position.
possible item level possible with the best gear in the game.
I'm not saying he's not capable of it. I'm just saying he is more
I say that
successful
sometimes.
when we are there with him. If he were
I just
pugging
saying a shockingly substantial amount
he were
of the player
pugging
base isn't engaging with affixes anymore.
Yeah, and that might be another reason why they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to care about it. I just where I play, I don't engage with this, and I do feel sad because I was one of those people who I love a seasonal affix that changes every season. I know people really didn't like it, but I thought it was fun. So I do feel disappointed that we're maybe going the direction of maybe no affixes in Last Titan. I would not be surprised if that's where it went. Like
I think
maybe
my take.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Luthien.
No, you go ahead. You're fine.
I was gonna say it's indicative of a bigger problem you'll hear me bring out a couple times throughout talking about this beta, but I feel like the game, especially Mythic Plus, has gotten to the point where it's just so stagnant, and I think they found a very good loop, and I could see why they wouldn't want to rock the boat too much, but I would like to see a little more experimentation and variety, especially with stuff like this. I think there's been a lot of people vocal that while some people have enjoyed not having to deal with affixes, there's been some people that have come out recently and said, actually, no, I kind of wouldn't mind them doing some kind of affix or kind of trying to find some way to reincorporate them. So it's just a little bummed out to see them not really kind of take a different direction or maybe find some way to incorporate something this time around, but maybe they'll do that in future if people are vocal about it.
Well, Fellowship is part of the reason why people are wanting those back.
Yeah.
No, we had the conversation about how to scale difficulty a while back, the other day, whenever we had that. Maybe it was the last one. I don't know.
Past.
We talk about so much stuff. But I think they at some point with Fellowship, and some of the other games that are coming up, I think they probably need to figure out how to innovate around some of this stuff because we've been doing the same thing season over season, every season for the past, I don't know, X number of seasons. And I mean, we push past the affixes and we do whatever, but then now the only scale modifier is the level of the key, right?
Yeah.
And that's I don't know, it gets kind of boring because you end up having to do the same key 800 times just to get it done perfectly, right? So we can time it. And I don't know. They're doing the squish, they're doing the simplification, they're doing the add-on thing. I think it's time that they take a second look and see what they can do here.
I think it's fair to say that like they're biting off a lot with the balancing of the game, and maybe not rocking the boat now makes sense because they don't add another factor. And then they're like, people are like, oh, the game sucks, but we can't really put a finger on because you change so much shit at once. But I want to. Can I put my tinfoil hat on, like conspiracy theory doomer vibe? Like, take this with a grain of salt. It's a little bit of a rant, maybe kind of technique, like, but I do feel like there's a pattern of them under designing elements of the game and then taking them away because then they're like, no one engages with it. They're doing that with like pet. Listen to me, I'm gonna explain it. Like with pet battling, where they haven't really put any work into it in like 3 expansions, and they're like, well, we're kind of just getting rid of it because people aren't engaging with it. Dragon flying,
people don't
engage with it, but they haven't done anything to it in 3 expansions. So of course they're not gonna engage with it.
They're gonna invest in the things that add the most value, which means
But
the player base
is that but
the player
if they're
base
saying
determines the player base determines what adds the most value by engaging with that content, right?
But what I'm saying is if they don't support the content that is not gonna be engaged with, and then they can easily have a reason to get rid of it.
There's a difference between supporting it and innovating it, right?
Innovating as well.
Because they
like,
supported pet battling. It's not like it was unsupported.
They're supporting it, but not innovating it, not adding stuff. Same with like dragon flying, where they're like, okay, no new races in this new area, and then they're like, okay, no new races.
I get what you're saying, Scrap, but I think at the same time you have to be aware that like if they build so every expansion they come in and they go, okay, cool, let's like try to add a different thing to the game that might be really, really popular. And pet battles was that thing, let's just say as an example.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, this is popular. There's like, a good set of our player base that loves this. Let's do the pet battle dungeons, right?
Yeah.
And they go, okay, cool. We did, I think they did one for Whaling's Caverns. They did another one, I think, for Dead Mines or something, whatever. And it just wasn't that popular. It wasn't, as we've said before, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze, right?
Wasn't balanced anymore. Like, they never added more levels to your pet. It's always been 25.
Well, hold on, scrap, hold on. So
sorry, go on.
What I'm saying is like they only have so much. They have finite resources, right?
Yeah.
And they go, okay, cool. So they sit down in a meeting and they go pet battles, and someone goes, well, we haven't increased the level cap. Okay, cool. Yeah, and we haven't added more dungeons. We only did 2. It's like, okay. And then they go, well, that's great, but what if, as an example, what if it's like, let's not do that. Let's do war fronts. Okay, well, maybe that'll be a really cool feature. It wasn't, but let's, that's what they're saying at the time of when they're developing. And they go, okay, let's keep doing that. And then the following year, they come back and they go, okay, war fronts wasn't it, y'all. We got to do something else. And then the same person raises their hands. What about pet battles? It's like, yeah, okay, maybe. What are some other ideas? It's like, okay, what about dells? Oh, okay. And so like they only have so many people that can work on so many things, and they have to decide for themselves, like,
I
what is going to take
kind of
the path.
I
Right?
understand this kind of like plausible deniability you're setting up for them, but like I want to let me expand it, not just to like the expansion features like pet battling and dragon flying and stuff, but just like general like game design. Whereas like, for example, this comes up a lot is like leveling, is that like they've made leveling such a non-existent part of the game. Like we could literally level a character to all the way to cap in one day. And
I disagree though. Hold on.
They put in all these ways to speed it up, and make it less a part of the game. Whereas like in classic, it's like it would take you weeks to level.
No, but scrap. Like that's where you're misremembering the changes that happened to the player base. In classic, we were all 20-something-year-old kids, right? And so we would have the disposable time to go and level in classic for 60 hours. We all have
the time, right? And we play this game for 100 hours a season.
We do. Us 4 do, right?
Yeah.
But remember, the argument is, and that's why delves exist, that there are the people out there who no longer have that time, who have an hour or 2 once or twice a week. And for them, the leveling experience, because, I don't think I've seen any evidence other than from maybe the people who are like world first raiders or people who are like, I want the fellowship type of gameplay, which again, it's not to say that they're wrong, but there is enough of a player base that the leveling and the story and the atmosphere and everything matter immensely to them, to the point where they introduced the story raid. I
feel like I'm not explaining very well what I mean. Hold on. I feel like let me finish explaining what I mean exactly with
hold
like
on.
let me finish saying it.
No. I think you explained it well enough, and I think you made a good point.
I haven't finished explaining it.
Hold on.
No, you hold on.
I
gotta clarify something about it.
All right, hold on.
This would be something that would be a great topic for its own video.
No, stop. I want to explain this really quick.
How long of an explanation do you have?
It's a short explanation.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say.
Just go.
Explain it.
Listen, you're making it take longer. What I'm trying to explain is that
I'm sorry.
people don't want to engage with leveling for a long time. They only have so much amount of time. They want to jump right into endgame. It's because endgame is supported and like fun. Leveling used to be engaging and fun, and they kind of stopped allocating resources to like story and zone and like leveling and how much time it takes and how it feels and the immersiveness of it. Because people don't engage with it, and people don't engage with it because it's not fun to engage with. It's like a cycle, and I feel like that's what and then they say, well, nobody engages with it. Well, you didn't create a story worth engaging in. So it's just feeding itself. That's what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you were trying to explain.
I think you're onto something. Yeah, exactly.
And that's fine, but you have to understand they're running a business. They're going to do whatever adds market share, right? Whatever is going to show the player base.
Subs. That's what brings subs.
Yeah. It's all about making money, and they have a business to run, and good, bad, or indifferent. There's going to be aspects that they just can't focus on because they don't have unlimited resources or budget, and leveling, maybe is not it for most people.
But
no, hold on.
Putting on my hat, right? Like when I'm putting on my hat
I think
now,
leveling is fine, but whatever.
I'm seeing a pattern with this affixes where now they're like, okay, affixes are going to stay the same. People are going to be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but here's the
We
problem with
don't
that.
care. And then
When
in Last Titan, they're going to say, oh, people didn't care, so no more affixes.
no,
That's the
Right.
pattern I see.
when games like
Exactly.
Fellowship come out and other games start to challenge their subscription base, they're gonna make some changes. They're gonna do something different. They have to, otherwise they become irrelevant and they get replaced. That's what happens in the MMO landscape is,
Doesn't
you know,
happen in the MMO landscape because I don't think anything's properly challenged WoW except Final Fantasy 14,
well,
maybe.
and that's at some point it's gonna happen, right?
It hasn't
So
happened yet.
No,
So
so
they say it all the time.
Scrap. So there's two ways that they look at this, right? Because let's look at it from development time. What takes more time to develop? The 4 zones, the 4 stories, the 4, all the leveling stuff, or the 8 dungeons, or the raid.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, incorporating tuning and stuff.
No,
I wouldn't be
don't worry
surprised if
about
it
that
takes
because
similar amount of
tuning's an
time.
everyday thing, right? No, I'm talking about
Yeah.
development, building.
I wouldn't be surprised. I probably think it takes a similar amount of time because the detail of the zones, I will say, you can tell there's work put into them. Now, for all the detail and work they put into it, we're not encouraged to engage and explore and feel it out. I think like in Undermine and stuff, there was like an exception to that where there were a lot of fun things to find everywhere. There kind of were in War Within, but they were like it was easy to blast through and not. I feel like it wasn't as good as Zereth Mortis, I think, was the best like incorporation of like a cool map that really encourages you to explore stuff. But I don't know what's your opinion, because
My point is this: I think that the 4 zones, the questing, and the just overall, let's say everything that's leveling, takes way more dev time than the dungeons and raid. Way more, right? Because as you said, one zone is more design time from just the world environment than the 4 dungeons and the raid, I would think, right? Yeah. So I would argue it's probably like 60% of the work of the expansion is just the leveling experience. But to your point, the leveling experience is one and done, theoretically, right? But remember, the leveling experience sells the expansion, which is the $50 price tag, right?
Clarify. I think the leveling experience for the expansion is generally good quality and great. Not for story, but like, and I do have some issues with.
You like the War Within's leveling.
I do think that I'm happy with the quality. I don't want that to seep. I'm talking about like the leveling from 1 to 60, how that has been not like when they did the chromie time, that was like the first big adjustment overhaul they made to like leveling. And it hasn't really changed from then. And the chromie times like kind of fix was it makes it really fucking fast, so that you don't have to engage with it much. I really think we're overdue.
That wasn't the fix.
Oh, what do you mean?
Chromie didn't change the leveling speed. Don't get me wrong, there is obviously optimization. No. All Chromie time did was made it so that you could follow one single expansion path of leveling and not have to worry about the fact that I'm not level 60, so I can't go to Northrend.
No, but it rebalanced them so that if you do Badlands, like the entire story of Badlands, you will complete 1 to 60. Like it did adjust that. That wasn't always the case.
Not Badlands. One single zone in Classic is giving you 1 to 60.
Yes, it will. That's how they have.
Because that doesn't even. What?
I
did it
on my real character.
Okay. Anyways,
Scrap. Let me tell you,
what
that Diet Coke is hitting, man.
It's almost gone.
So here's the thing,
so much.
To go back to all
no, it's a whole one. I've graduated to whole ones.
Going back to the whole point, right? Was this is one of those things where, as we've already said, people are mostly not engaging with it. It is, for the most part, I think, widely agreed that it would be nice if a seasonal affix was coming in. But what I was going to say before you went on your rant was, I actually disagree with y'all that I don't think it's good to bring this stuff back, and here's why. More often than not, every time I do a 12 and then for some reason we do an 11, whatever the reason is, right? I'm immediately annoyed that I have the affix, right?
Me too.
Now,
I'm not gonna lie.
granted, that might be an argument for why they're just unfun. Okay, sure. But let's go then to the seasonal fixes where we've argued those are for the most part fun. Unless the gameplay loop changes drastically, right? So I'm going to use Prideful as an example, and I'm going to use the from BFA, the one with Nyalotha.
One?
No, the Nyalotha one, right?
Oh yeah.
where you could make portals. So in the case of Prideful, it was fun and interesting at first to have the prideful mobs, figuring out how to spawn them and when to spawn them, right? We had some engagement with that. But after a while, as the keys got harder and harder, and now granted this was a scaling issue, the pridefuls were more of a nuisance, right? You built the idea that you'd have a mini lust every time you killed them, of course, but the scale or the tuning was built around that too. Whereas with the Nyalotha one, where you could create portals, it completely flipped the dungeons on their head. And all the routes that you saw in the past were out the window, right? It was a very fun and engaging change. But that was one of like 10 seasonal fixes that kind of delivered on that experience. So for them, it's like, unless they make something really fun and then they have to keep changing it every season, it's just not worth it, right? It's just such a high expectation.
With the new dungeon rotation philosophy where we get new dungeons every season, like there's really not a requirement to have a seasonal affix. Like in the past, like in BFA and Shadowlands, we had the same dungeons the whole expansion. So we would have gotten so bored of them if there wasn't some big game-changing thing like the
you had to change
like the lieutenants, like the Sagadon and the Prideful and stuff like that. So it was absolutely required for them to have really engaging seasonal affixes. Now, where I would love to see it come back is like in a season 4 or like what we have now where we have returning dungeons. If like returning dungeons but with a cool affix, and it's like the affix is every week, they don't have to change it up, so there's weird combinations. I like the weird combinations, but I can understand how if you're somebody without a lot of time, you're like, man, I have time to play this week, but it's like a really hard combination of affix, I'm not getting any points this week. Like I can kind of understand why people wouldn't like affixes in that way. This is all stemming from you reading this piece of news, and I was like, I don't know why I feel a little bit sad about this because I don't engage with it. And then I had all these other feelings come up of like, oh, it's really sad that I don't engage with it because they're not letting me engage with it. You know what I mean?
Battles,
yeah, pet battles. I really jumped off in a direction there, but I felt it was important to explain the whole story I'm trying to tell.
And again, as I think Lithian or I pointed out, like there is a lot to say there, and I want you to be able to express that, but we don't want to go so far off the path.
This is a podcast. I mean, this is what we're talking. I know.
But I also want people who are going like, wait, when are they going to talk about this? So here's the last thing I want to say about that part, right? Is that if they were to do that though, Scrap, right? Once an expansion, let's call it, they'd have to not make it about being an affix, but instead of like a game. Like, okay, so a good example of this is Corruption, right? From BFA, the same Nyalotha patch, right?
Yeah.
They put it was borrowed power, okay? But they put a curse borrowed power that was a lot of fun to play around, and it gave the player a lot of agency on how they played around it. That they have to focus in on that as opposed to the thundering affix, for example, right? Which was
I love thundering.
Which again, on paper sounds fun, but in practice, especially when you had certain bosses that wouldn't allow you to come to do the things you had to do, right? It was punishing to a degree of unfunness. So
I feel like these affixes fall in that category though. Remember like the first season that they were active, and then we were finding all these places where things
but then they fixed them.
Impossible to get. Yeah, they did fix it. Yeah, but I'm just saying that's that happens, and you can give a little grace.
Well, let's look what the changes they've done to the dungeons that are coming back. So Pit of Saron, they've modernized, of course, all these things, and given a pass on creature spawning. If you remember from this dungeon, you had captive soldiers that you had to free. Apparently, they've incorporated that into the main objective. I'm sure maybe they give you count. I don't know. And then they've been, some RP shit to make the story scenes cleaned up. I'm curious to see the bosses, because this will be our very first pre-Cataclysm dungeon that's coming back. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was going to say, this is the first one I definitely want to run when this is up. When they put them on the beta, I definitely want to run this one first to see what.
And we'll be streaming all of these when we get the chance.
We haven't had any pre-cat. I guess Oldemon doesn't count.
No, because Oldemon was rebuilt altogether.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. No, I was just like, I can't believe that's the case.
Kata had the Tides, right? That was the earliest one.
Throne of the Tides and Vortex Pinnacle, I think they had.
Yeah. Which were completely redone.
Adamant about not doing pre-Cataclysm dungeons, but I think they got to a point where they realized that the pool is very, especially now that they're adding like Dragonflight ones in already. Like they're realizing they're like, we need to expand this pool a little bit. So I think they're trying to find older ones they can fit in.
Yeah.
I like the 2 expansions ahead kind of thing. Now, what I don't want to happen is like where Mechagon like was in 2 expansions in a row, they brought back Mechagon. It's like there's got to be a way to not do that.
I'm willing to bet Mechagon came back for a
'Cause it
reason
was a
that
good
was probably
goblin-y.
well, no, it was probably also like, oh shit, we were gonna do this dungeon. It's not working out the way we thought it would. You know,
Yeah.
pull ripcord in the case of emergency, bring back
Mechagon's
Mechagon.
already ready.
Right. And
That's
it's
fair. It's
it
very
was
fun dungeon.
thematically, and I put quotes because it's goblins and gnomes aren't the same, but it was
You're right.
thematically
I'm sorry.
right. But anyways, okay. Skyreach. So there was a lot of people. I think even one of you guys said that the birds on the Skywind platform, they no longer hurt players, and you can disable it if someone gets across. So that's a nice change.
Nice.
Again, very interested to see what they do with the bosses because I don't feel like these bosses played well to M+, but we'll see. Seat of the Triumvirate. This is a dungeon that everyone hated in Legion, mostly because I think it was so new and no one really had the chance to figure it out, at least at the pug level. I remember there were like all void portals now spawn after the first boss, and their locations are no longer random, so that's nice. You don't have to worry about the randomness of an M+ timer, and of course the RP stuff. The bosses in here though, I remember being fun though, challenging but fun, so that'll be interesting to see. And then of course Algathar's Academy, which we remember. Cross Deafening Screech no longer applies sonic vulnerability. Is this the bird boss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was the one where like she would screech and then there would be like an AoE that goes out and it's gonna like destroy us. Was that?
Yeah, it was brutal. So they're saying it's less brutal.
Yeah. And then there's also the
Oh, she doesn't do it indefinitely. It's at
yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So like
That's a
it's not brutal at the last 20% of the boss. Veximus, which I think is the last boss.
That's that little elemental guy.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That's
No
the guy
longer
with
gains
the-
energy when arc.
yeah.
Oh, this is good. So now we're not like
you don't
having to
have
worry
to get
about.
him.
Yeah. Well, maybe you do, but no longer like makes the timing of the boss all screwed up.
Okay,
If
that's
you,
good.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
you know,
remember that. Yeah.
So
gonna
that'll
be
nice.
awesome about this coming back is I can make the joke about the last boss being the person's voicemail again, and everyone gets to hear it over and over again.
Oh yeah. You idiots. Oh my god, I didn't even remember that until you said that. So
There she is.
we will be testing these. They go up allegedly on Wednesday. Looking forward to that. God, okay, we derailed there for a second. What do we got? For those who have played beta, right? It's been a very laggy start. Did you guys know the reason why?
Because of fish.
Yeah, something about fish.
Oh, someone put a picture of it. I thought maybe it was on Twitter. So yeah, apparently it was a fish. They fixed it and
Just
now
one
beta's
fish?
running fine. No, they made a lot of improvements to NPC behavior and having them react to players' environments. Apparently, if you walked into the water, the fish would like swim away from you and wander around and stuff.
Cute. They're getting rid of that?
No, well, they'd have to fix it. It was causing a whole
Okay.
bunch of so maybe it won't be
So
ready in time for
cute.
game, but that's what was causing the immense amount of lag on
Oh, I'm obsessed with that. That's such a cute idea.
It wasn't too bad once you got past the opening, but the opening was really bad.
Well, probably because there was like a shit ton of fish in the water and like no one knew what the hell was going on. So beta has been a little bit of a buggy mess. Now, Scrap, I know you get really upset when they say they're going to do something like they did with the player housing on PTR and they cancel it.
Only when it affects me.
They had to cancel. I was going to say they had to cancel the PTR test of the pre-launch event. I just wanted to see, like, are you guys thinking, man, Blizzard's still screwing up? Are you guys worried about the launch of not only the pre-launch but also the launch of?
I had a lot of anger, but it was misplaced maybe when I was.
It was too much Diet Coke. It was all the Diet Coke.
Maybe I was really hot on that before, but now that this is something I don't care about, suddenly I'm like, things happen. Like
You're so wishy-washy, man.
Yeah.
You know what else happened, Scrap?
I don't want to talk about
sorry,
it.
Lithin,
I see it on the.
Lithin, did you want to say something?
No, I don't want to. No, I'm good.
All right, avert your eyes. Avert your eyes.
I'm gonna leave for this section.
Oh boy.
I think this is fine. By the way, I have no issue with this whatsoever.
If you're in our Discord, I had a fucking 2-hour
give us a lore flashback to the War Within's.
I was huge dooming on War Within because it felt like there was something happening behind the scenes that like stuff wasn't ready. You know, we didn't know anything about the story. We didn't know anything about what it was going to be about. That they weren't building hype well. And we found out, yeah, they didn't really know it was going to be out. I mean, the fucking cinematic with the sword literally never came up. So, and maybe there were good reasons for that. But on top of all this chaos and dooming and not being sure of like, oh my God, is this expansion going to suck? They released this load screen or sorry, login screen. And I don't know if you can pull up the old login screen just to tell the story, or you can picture it.
Here, you can keep talking about it.
Yeah, just go ahead and pull it. But the login screen was just kind of a very still image. There it is. With kind of nothing going on. And I feel like people, rightfully, myself included, maybe at the front of it, like were extremely upset. And I took this as a litmus test. No, I took this as a litmus test of like, oh my God, they really are cutting quality in this expansion. Like, why the fuck is there
nobody's
cool
looking at this screen?
Listen to me, Lithian. I'm finishing
nobody
the story.
sees nobody
Lithian,
sees this anymore.
In fact, there was
I'm gonna
so much
debunk that in a
outcry.
second.
Well, in fact, there was so much outcry that they ended up changing it to what it is now, which is just kind of like a still image of Dornagle,
right
a piece, fan art. It's or not fan art. Sorry, concept art. Not even like a 3D image that they transpose little fires and little animations and stuff, and they never changed it. Now, people who were coping were saying it's fine. The War Within one, it's gonna change every season. It's gonna open. They have these huge plans for it. And when they were like, actually, we changed the Dornagle, it was pretty clear that they did not have huge plans for it. They were just cutting on this one thing because they didn't think it would be an issue. Okay, here's the Dragonflight screen. So this falls in line. I mean, you guys all know the login screens. It's like it gives you a really good idea of this like new space. There's like a character, or a dragon, or something that flies in. It's just what gives you the nostalgia. Like when the classic screen comes in and I see that portal. And you hear that music, the bum bum, like that nostalgia, I will not have for War Within because it's just like it was a very not memorable screen. Oh, what do you got here? Oh, BFA, yes, yes, King. This is they're very simple, but they just give you a little.
Almost
something.
all of them harken back to something that happened in the cinematic, right? So
yeah.
Shadowlands login screen. I remember I loved
the
effect.
Open.
Yeah. Right. I love the effect that they. Oh, no, I don't want this.
Oh, what the fuck is this?
Oh, some ad. I don't know. Right.
Yes. So this is one of the best ones. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, arguably, like Wrath of the Lich King's one.
Oh yeah, with Sindragosa.
Because again, it harkens back to the here we go. Harkens back to the cinematic where you have Sindragosa and everything going on, and
this is 10 years old, dude.
So like that right there.
More
and then of course Cataclysm had Deathwing slamming into Stormwind and stuff.
This was this was the first one that wasn't just the Dark Portal either, because I think the Burning Crusade one was another version of it. And
there's so many of those.
Yeah, they brought that back for WoD as well.
Wow, look at that. I buy this game and this pops up. I get, oh my God, I get so hyped.
You don't even see you, Frank. Okay, so, tell me why you look at the login screen so much.
Okay, well, so here's
it sets the tone.
That's a cool one too.
No, it flies right by because it automatically logs me in.
Well, let's go to the
all
current.
All I see is my warband.
Let's go to the one they're doing for Midnight, and we'll talk about a little bit of the backlash there. So I don't know if you think it's split. I went through and I screenshotted like just blocks of people upset with it. People are not happy with it.
They're and the other half all the time.
Lithian, the other half of the people are on Lithian side where they say, "Well, I don't even engage with the login screen anyway. I just connect. It doesn't matter. Like it's not important to me. I don't care."
I want them to focus on things that add value. This doesn't add value.
So I think this adds value.
Here's where I stand on this, right? I am a firm believer that a movie's trailer can be a ultimate hype machine.
This isn't a trailer.
It's not the trailer. For me, though, this is a hype machine, right? This is a hype machine. And granted, maybe it's different nowadays because we've played WoW for so long, as Lithian has pointed out. Battle.net will even just like bypass this for you, right? But in the past, I would load up the game, and granted, we didn't see it in beta necessarily because, like, you know, they were way more inefficient then. But like, I would load it up, and I would say, "Holy shit, that's Sindragosa," or "Holy shit, that's Deathwing standing." Yeah, and the music would hit, and you just go, and I'm like, I'm typing in my login, but I'm gonna sit there. Not to mention how many times have I been like logged out of the game because I AFK, and then you know, I have like WoW minimized or whatever, and I hear the music pick up. Right when and I go, oh, there it is, right? it's a hype machine. And my problem, Lithian, is I don't feel like it's as much work as going back to Dragonflight, right?
No, I mean,
like this
even,
is not
like,
a lot of work.
Everything takes
same.
cycles. Everything takes cycles. But here's the thing. Y'all are living in the past. It's time to move on. The login screen doesn't matter. Nobody's looking at this. Nobody's staring at it.
But
Nobody's.
here's where I was going.
You have two people here telling you they do, so don't say no.
And a lot of people, I took
because y'all are
don't
so
JB
old.
it. All right, come on.
Y'all are so old. You can't get past the past.
I'm putting the tinfoil hat back on here for a second, because this is where I really started going off when I was crashing out. Is that people were trying to tell me it doesn't matter. You don't even look at the login screen anyway, which I think is also an admission of the low quality of it, where they're like, it doesn't matter. They're not saying it's actually good. I haven't heard anybody say. I haven't seen anybody say I actually really like it. Like,
I don't mind it. It looks fine.
I don't mind it, whatever.
For exactly what it is.
I don't mind it because I don't even have to see it. So here's the problem.
I don't mind it because it doesn't matter.
People don't engage with it. They people log in, whatever. So we don't have to do quality. Well, then they're like, well, nobody plays the game with music on.
Oh,
like,
we looked
at our numbers and we saw 90%
play the game with music on.
Lithian, listen to me. They
is
look
this
at
a
it and they
scenario
say,
you're making up.
No, it's not a scenario. I'm saying they can look back here and they say, oh, like 90% of people play and they have the game muted. They don't listen to the music and stuff. So we're just gonna like cut the music because people don't engage with it.
If that was true, then they would probably do that. But I don't think that's true.
Okay, but I'm just saying it's a slippery fucking slope.
No, but to Scrap's point, if you were to listen to Twitter, a majority of people would tell you they shut off the music and listen to it. Now, granted, they would just a shout out to Blizzard. They are nominated for. They were nominated for their Undermine soundtrack, and I honestly think they should also be for the this season's.
I'm not talking about the music in general. Also, I'm talking about the login music. No, Lithian doesn't listen to the login music, but the login music. The login music is always some of the most. Dude, always the login music for the expansion is always some of the most iconic, like the most iconic track of the whole expansion, because it brings in all the themes. It'll probably have like the Heron theme on it. It'll have the zone.
Music, I appreciate. Music, I appreciate. The login screen, I don't care about.
No, but Lithian, her point is that if they start making these cuts because they say, well, not enough people play with the game unmuted, then we'll start doing this.
Yeah,
I understand the point, but they're not going to cut things that people engage with. We already had this conversation.
But what if they cut the login music? Which, like, what if they instead? Hold on. Right now, the login music is always like the kind of overture of the soundtrack,
they're
right?
Not gonna,
listen, Lithian, let me finish my point. Is that they collect all of the bits and they do this really great grand piece. It's normally like 10 to 15 minutes long. That's the overture, and it's like, okay, so that's the login. You don't engage with it because you log in right away and whatever. So next expansion, they say instead of the overture, we just took the music from X raid and that's the login music because it's a good piece of music. I'm sure they put a lot of.
You're creating a scenario. I haven't been on beta in a couple days, but I don't even think this has music, to be honest. I think it's like
it will. And if it doesn't, Lithian, I hope to God you pick up a torch and pitchfork with me and get upset about
Lithian,
it.
To the point of the music, right? It takes a lot more energy to make a soundtrack for the game than it does to get someone to go stand with their screen record in OBS and just record an atmosphere of Silver Moon, right? Look at the skybox? Hold on. Silver Moon. Look at this. Do they have a picture of the new one? Please do. Right, so here.
Listen,
that's it.
I get it.
Right here. Like, this is all you need. Get a live.
That's Frank, what you were pitching to me that you wanted to see as the login.
Just get a live thing of this, and you're Gucci, right?
I also feel a bit shocked that after the backlash of the War Within one, where they literally changed it because of the backlash, and then this one looks scary like that first War Within one that was backlashed against. And people are fucking saying in the please. People are finishing people are saying in the Wowhead comments, oh, it's probably gonna change and shift, just like they were about the War Within one when they just didn't come up with the plan. I said to Frank, this is why we need journalism, because people don't know what happened with the War Within one.
When the War Within one
I didn't look at it. I didn't care.
when the War Within one came out and there was a backlash, and then they came back the next expansion and released this one, that's when I kind of figured, I'm like, this definitely isn't a priority, and I'm not.
No, it's not a priority. Would it be a priority?
I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I do wish it was the old ones, but I'm at the point now where they've shown, especially after the backlash from the last one, if this is what they're going to put out for it, then that just kind of shows you where they're at with it.
I'd argue this is more effort. This is more effort than doing the screen grab of Silvermoon City.
There's definitely effort put into it.
They had to design this. Someone had to artist, all this shit together.
I saw a lot of accusations of people saying, "Oh, it looks like it was made in Midjourney or whatever," like in the Wowhead comments. And it's like, as somebody who's like a working artist, this was not made in Midjourney. Somebody did design this. Maybe the concept of it was made in Midjourney, but like they probably put as much work into this as they would like a login screen like we're used to.
Yeah, more work.
So it does feel like a failure of art direction that this is what they
now you're calling out the art direction.
I am calling out the art direction.
If this is the biggest complaint of this entire expansion, then I think they're doing okay.
It's not, but okay.
I'm not saying it is because the expansion hasn't started yet, but if this is all people have to complain about, then I think it's fine.
Look, I just don't like it.
All right.
I know you don't like it.
We gave you Scrap wanted to take 2 hours just to talk about this. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Scrap?
I've cooled down on it. I will say there is hope that they're going to change it because of all the goatsy memes. So
oh my god, dude! I can't.
That will make them change it at least. It's just upsetting to me that they stepped backwards, or I guess they stood on the hill where they were with War Within, where they were like, "This is what we want to give you," and then they're like, "You guys, we're fucking giving this to you. Just swallow it." Like
back in the day when you actually had to log in. I understand.
I log in. I get a captcha every time I get disconnected. I don't know what you guys have.
You have other issues, bro. I can't even start to.
Well, she doesn't have an authenticator, so she can't get straight in.
Yeah.
You're like one of like 5 people that have this issue. I type in
my password every time. Like,
oh my god, dude.
Rick's watched me like when I'm disconnected, and he was like, I've never seen somebody have to put in a captcha to log in.
To put a bow on this, I think Scrap my frustration, and I share like, look, at the end of the day, this looks good, and it definitely invokes what Midnight is theoretically all about, right? I just feel like they spent more energy on this than they would have taking their gorgeous skybox and doing something with this, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
And so yeah, I'm not sure what their decision making up.
There's an art director who said this is what we want to do with this. Make it happen. And I don't know why. I don't know if that art director was privy to the backlash with the War Within one. But yeah, I
should find the name of this art director.
Ranting.
And you should send them an email.
More like fart director.
This is why we're never going to get an interview, because Scrap will spend 30 minutes of our 30 minutes talking about it.
I'm not saying they're a failure of an art director. I'm just saying this is a failure of art director.
I would just want to know. I would just want to know why. What was their mindset? And it might be Scrap. It might be like, to listen to the point, it's like, look, I mean, less and less people are engaging with it, and we just said it's not worth the energy, and you're not going to not buy the expansion because of it. So like, we're just moving on,
I hate that as an excuse, because the people who are saying that, it's like an admission of it's not that great. It's like, well, I don't engage with it.
An admission of what's not that great?
That this login screen's not that great.
Because nobody's looking at it.
Scrap, but you gotta say it's good enough.
But I don't have to
it's good enough.
It's perfectly fine for what it is.
Because compared to the the dark portals, like the dark portals weren't that sexy,
but that was 20 fucking years ago.
No, they did it for WoD.
Listen,
I
think
WoD's not a memorable one. I'll say that for sure.
Instead of spending time on the login screen, I think they wanted to bolster the whole Silvermoon experience. Like when you do that beginning quest and you go into that city for the first time, I think it's great. I think it's wonderful.
They could do that. They could bolster the experience.
As somebody
I'm not going to be looking. I'm not going to care.
No, but listen, the point is each one of them are about the cinematic. They have a cinematic where they're fighting in Silvermoon. Where is that fight scene on the login screen?
Yeah.
Who cares?
It should
Nobody's
be
looking at the login screen.
better.
We are Lithians. Stop saying no one.
You guys, you two people.
No, we're not alone. We're not alone.
No, we're not alone. Yeah.
People are going to complain because they want something to complain about. Like
this is like the antithesis of I don't care. It's you don't care, but you're just complaining.
I don't care. But I don't know why people do care because
We're
it's not
explaining
like
it to you. Listen
not
to
a
us.
significant, but it's not a significant piece of the game, right?
To us, it
sets the
is.
tone.
To us, it is.
But you don't even look at it.
I do.
I do.
I've told you I do. I told you that I will leave.
Let
I've
me
left the
stare at
game
the
up.
login screen for 20 minutes and get
I don't stare at it, but it's there, and I hear it, and I. Okay.
Just go. Next.
All right.
Next.
What else do we have? Let's take a quick note on UI updates. The people have gotten access to beta. All right.
This I can complain about.
And
Lydian's turn to complain.
well, here, okay. Let's. Ian made a blue post that would talk about all the logic and reasoning they're doing everything right, and in it, I think he does as best of a job as he can to answer all the things that he's trying to like get across to the community, including things like why we broke everything, and what's
called? Why we broke everything?
no. But like, what's next? And there was also a post done to the Discord where they clearly call out like things that they're not going to allow based on their goals. So, for example, no more Hakili. They're not allowing that anymore.
Thank God.
No more rotational helpers. And again, they've even tried to design the like classes like Arcane, for example, to not have to need them anyways.
Are they taking theirs out?
No, they're keeping theirs in, right? The one button.
Are they taking theirs out then?
No.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about? The one button?
No, they're not against it as a concept. They just want to control it.
Right?
Well,
they want to penalize you for doing it, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're saying like, look, if that's how you want to play, that's fine, but we don't want you to be doing race to world first stuff,
Right.
And they don't want to be able to have things like this is the healer mob, this is the frontal cast, or this is like Quasi's making all casters purple or whatever. This is probably the one thing I'll miss the most because I do really appreciate that, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, but once you know the dungeons, you've done them 100 times.
No, it's not that's the problem. It's that like, and again, their nameplates are still fucked on the beta, so they need to work. It's that like, okay, so I was just doing Ecodome with Lithian here a second ago, and they're I can't remember what the name of the mob, but the big generals that have the shield on them. That once the shield breaks, they start AoEing like crazy, right? In a sea of 16 mobs being pulled on top of it, and you need to interrupt the one mob. It's nice to see the purple bar on the one that I know I need to keep an eye on for the interrupt. And it's nice to know that the yellow bar, as Quasi has it on his, is the one that I need to return to for the priority DPS. Now, you can do that with focus macros and all that stuff. However, in my opinion, that is not a gameplay loop that is going to be approachable because like you have to build the macro and then like a key behind it and all this stuff. Whereas, and again, hopefully we see it one day where we have the stuff from Fellowship where they, like essentially put your face on whatever you're trying to priority kick. But it was really nice to have that. Again, not the end of the world, but it was really nice, and I kind of wish it would come back, but whatever.
The issue with the nameplates though is as a tank or as anybody really, but as a tank, like I'm constantly moving on to different mobs. I have priority kicks. I have issues making sure that I have full threat on everything when the nameplates are scattered all over the place like crazy.
Yep.
It's gonna be it's gonna be an adjustment for sure.
Well,
I might be misremembering, but didn't they say that they were gonna increase or decrease the reliance on kicking in these dungeons and stuff? So I think maybe that's a factor. Is that
they took all the kicks away from healers?
It doesn't mean though that's not gonna be still important, Scrap, because honestly,
I
going
know
back
it's still
to
important
Ecodome, right?
'cause
There's only usually one caster in the pack that is a problem.
Yep.
All the other ones are jumping around like jackrabbits, but here's the thing. So like the main takeaway is they're concentrating their efforts on the highest impact changes to reduce the pain points. But now that people are on the beta and there's been more dev time for the add-on developers, and again, restrictions loosened. Like here's a picture of I think it's Platinator. You know this better than I do, Io.
Yeah, Platinator's pretty much I'm gonna say this right now, like Plater is obviously the best, but this thing has straight up one of the greatest like design interfaces for setting up your own nameplates I've ever seen. Like you actually, like I could even send you like a picture and show you. It's actually like a designer window, and you can actually like pick where you want stuff on it and move stuff, and you actually see what the nameplate looks like in front of you. It's pretty sick.
I really like that.
It doesn't have obviously the same function. Yeah, right there. It doesn't have the same functionality in terms of like the API access, but just how you're able to customize it is actually really sick for something so limited. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. It looks good. There's been countless examples on like Plater is coming back, it sounds like. LVI I think is officially coming back too. But to your point, Plater, the UI is atrociously difficult. This is actually another argument I got into. Was like people are saying, well, add-ons aren't really that hard. And I was like, honestly, tell me a single add-on that has a intuitive, easy to understand user interface. This is probably like the best example of one. And even then, if I'm a new player to WoW, do I really understand a lot of what's going on here? Easily.
Exactly.
Again, and this is the best case scenario in my opinion. Because I like even details, it's like, what the fuck is going on in that menu sometimes?
Yeah.
Even stuff like Plater, people would put their own custom Lua code in. So I mean, like the average person isn't going to be able to do that. Like, what the fuck?
Well, if you take Plater and you dumb it down to what they have access to now, it's going to look like this because they don't have access to do any of that stuff anymore.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, they can make it better.
This is really nice, right? Like a focused,
I like that.
And on top of that, so this is one of the things, like again, nameplates on the beta are still a problem because I didn't even remember that the base UI won't show the health bars of the mobs unless you've got them targeted. Or no, I don't even think they show it if they're attacking you, right? I was doing the intro quest and I'm sitting there going like, where are all the mobs? And then I just randomly walked into one and it started hitting me. I'm like, where the fuck is this nameplate? And it only showed if I had selected it, which is a huge problem because we talk about butt pulling all the time. So these are nice. And again, look at the variety that you can choose from. And according to Wago, which I'll go back to the tweet here, you will be able to go to Wago and import and export, your favorite nameplates, which is awesome. So I'm happy to hear that. I think it's a huge relief. Do you guys feel like you're going to still avoid add-ons at all costs? I think Luffy, you said you might.
Real quick,
I'm going to try.
I think these also stack. I don't think they might still have some stacking issues, but I've noticed they seem to not have the issues that the base UI one had.
Yeah, because they fixed it.
I'm hoping the base UI fixes their stuff because I'd like to keep it as vanilla as possible, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope that they fix it. Like that's what they're trying to do. Like they can't just.
That's what they're paid to do, Scrap. That's what they're paid to do.
But they're making this big show of like we want to, make this stuff visible in the game, and if they have something where it's like still, if 90% of people doing keys have to have or have a Plater type add-on, then they haven't been successful in their
sure. But if they're able, sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say so here's kind of the thing where I think they kind of got us a little bit. And I think you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna sit there and try to be like, oh, gotcha, we still gotta have all these add-ons. Blizzard came out and said, we need to have the information you guys need, or every player needs available in the UI, and we need to make sure that you don't need specific add-ons. You shouldn't have access to anything with add-ons that you can't get from us. And they did that. And they put that in the game, but they didn't say anything about making it look pretty. They were pretty standard from up like the beginning. Hey, we're gonna still have add-ons for customization.
Which they have made it prettier.
I don't think they plan on putting a lot of effort into this.
Here's the thing. I don't need it to look pretty. I need it to be able to function for what I need.
Yeah.
And that's what I care about the most, right? I complain about the padding on the the combat tracker with whatever it's called, but
the cooldown manager,
yeah, the cooldown manager. Like, I don't know why they can't do padding 0. It bothers me like crazy. But at the end of the day, if it does what I need it to do, it tracks what I needed to track, then it'll be fine.
My big pain point when I was because I was testing Enhancement Shaman was I needed to track my Maelstrom number, and I could do that with the cooldown manager. But in order to be able to see the actual number of the buff, so imagine I'm gonna put like there's a square here. The number would be like 1/5 the size of the square in the bottom right corner.
It's I had to blow it up. You need to keep track of.
Right, I had to blow it up so big, and it was okay. Like I came to terms with the fact that I'd have the icon taking up more space than it needed. But then the other side was that I need to also track, for example, when I got Tempest or when I got Crash Lightning buff, and I can't separate those. again, Blizzard may still be working on it. They may get to that point, or maybe they don't get to it in season 1, but they'll get to season 2. I could still play the game. I wouldn't be happy with it, but I could still like. I wouldn't like sit there and say I'm not playing anymore. However,
But
it
what you
sounds
don't
like
want is a worse experience, right? It's like,
well, no, but I'm not
I
going to have a worse experience
yeah.
because I still have access to the add-ons to, tweak it to the way I want it to be. Because they never said that wasn't their goal. They said like,
Well,
we're
if
fine with
WeakOrz
you
is
guys.
gone,
No, but
where are
that
you gonna
compared to what we have today, the ability to customize that we have today versus what we're going to have tomorrow, the experience is going to be worse.
I
Because
disagree. I feel like the only
I
thing that's going to be missing are those like are barrage helper stuff.
well, no, I think that there's a look and feel. I think there's the ability to customize to the sounds and visuals that I want to be able to see and track with weak auras and things like that. That's going to be gone. Even like the cursor add-ons or weak auras are going to be.
Oh, my cursor.
I
No,
mean,
but that's the point though. All this
somebody's going to
stuff can still
create them.
exist. Yeah. Someone can still
Yeah,
exist. So
You
like,
guys are
somebody
telling
will
me every
create
week
it.
somebody's gonna create them, but
no, they are
if
scrap. Like this is just one example, but
someone
like
doesn't,
no, because look, they've already got a good dot tracker, right? And on top of that, okay, so let's use weak auras as an example. I'm using an arbitrary number here, but like 10% of weak auras functionality could still exist. It's just that they're choosing not to move forward with it. So for example, if I wanted to make a weak aura that tracked Maelstrom right now, Scrap,
I
on the
have one,
beta,
yeah.
if weak auras said they would
You
still
have one.
develop that part of it, I'd have everything I need to do that. You'd have everything you need to do what you wanted to do with it, which is just, well, I don't know for certain of this, but to just take the number of the Maelstrom number and remove the icon portion of it, right?
Yeah.
Because that number can still be displayed. Now that, I don't know enough about the add-on development to say if that's entirely true. But what I'm saying though is that functionality can still exist, and to Lithian's point, someone out there will make it if they haven't already. I'm just going through and seeing what people are putting on Twitter. I haven't really researched it. But like as Io pointed out, Blizzard never made any promises to say this is the nameplate you're going to get. They just said you're going to have all the information you need, and all we're going to allow people to do is dress up the information to be, again, for what Lithian might say is more visible and more helpful. But what my IO might say is, no, I don't want it that way. I want it this way, and that customization still exists. And all the people on Twitter who are losing their minds saying, oh my God, they're destroying add-ons, it's clear they are not. And you don't need to be as scared as you might have been.
I am not scared. I'm actually really excited to see
excited
some of
too.
the changes. So
yeah, and
I'm
of
just,
course,
I feel like if the philosophy is that like, hey, we recognize that you need these things, like 90% of people have weak auras or details or whatever the hell. It's like our new philosophy is we want to put those in the game. I don't know if that's exactly what was driving it. I know that they've been trying to restrict the API, but then I think it's like I hope that they're going to continue working on these. If they're seeing that 80% of people have like plater add-ons, then that means they're not done. They need to say like what are people using it for? Like they need to be in tune with how the game functions to know what is not cooked yet.
Ian does a really good job explaining that here.
Yeah, he does. All the people who are sad about the changes and complaining are the ones that charge you for their weak auras.
No, that's not true. I mean, it's true to a degree, but
I've never bought a weak aura. What the fuck? I didn't know you could buy them.
Yeah, Dorky as an example of someone who sold
he
the weak aura.
sells weak auras?
Yeah. Quasi doesn't necessarily sell them, but he gives you benefits to being.
Have you guys ever bought a weak aura before?
No, I've never.
Elsmere
had one, right?
They do Patreons.
Yeah.
He did have one from a Patreon. Yeah. The guild that Mythic raided with was a part of Liquid's Patreon, so they got their weak auras early for the raid. But I mean, I didn't put anything in for that. So.
Oh, how's your raiding guild going? It's good still. It blew over. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, he said like for over 20 years now, the customization of the interface has been a pillar of the game, allowing players to tailor their look and feel, which they want to continue to support, right? But the power given to the add-on authors has always come with the risk of the tools can distort moment-to-moment gameplay, things like the barrage helper and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so they essentially say like the reason why they're doing this is not because 90% of people have a damage meter, so therefore we want to add one.
We want to add it,
right? Yeah. What they said was developing most of the content for the game became a problem because of how much the add-on APIs allowed the everyday player to access it. So would they'd sit there and say, we don't need to make a damage meter, because if we do, like, why bother if someone's already doing that work for us, right?
Mhm.
But what they didn't realize is by giving the details of the world access to information, it in turn allowed weak auras to do things with that information.
Yeah.
And so they said, okay, well, we can't allow details to have that information anymore because weak auras can't have it. And therefore, we have to make a details in game. And that
I
was the reason why
understand
they
and
did it.
I support that as well, is that like they had to design fights to keep getting more and more complex because solves were being made through weak auras that were
Yeah.
making things too easy or
Yeah.
trivial or things like that. And like I do understand that. I just I also gotta know, has Costas, why can't I track deaths in my key? That's a big thing I want on my details meter. Like, why
I
is
think-
that
No,
in the black
there'll
box?
be a deaths tracker on the in
Yeah, I
game.
thought they added
Before
that.
there wasn't one, so
No,
I
no.
was like,
Well-
why are you keeping that information from me? I'm not gonna like
Scrap.
have
The
player power.
the
to
meter
just
hasn't really
going each
even
one time.
launched yet.
Yeah, the
so
meter's
they're
not even
adding
out
things
yet.
to it every week.
Oh, that makes me nervous. Why hasn't it ready?
Because they're adding things
Oh
to
my
it every day.
gosh.
But I know, but they've had details for like a trillion years,
my
and they
God.
haven't just said
They're
like, let's
not
just do that.
they're not stealing the code, Scrap.
They should.
Okay, so
They
that
should
said,
buy it.
IO, we're gonna have this week a chance to test the here we go, the raid frame UI, which they
there we
officially
go.
finally added
Oh, that's
all the
cute.
new icons,
Oh,
so
those
you
are
can
very
see,
cute.
right? Like
Those are
this is
cute.
the stuff that I loved in Cell, was like it would change the color of their bar, so I knew exactly what I had to deal with. As a raid leader, this is hugely helpful as well.
Mm.
I cannot express the thing I'm most excited about is theoretically my frames per second no longer tanking because of this bullshit, right? Being
Yeah, we have
able
to turn our add-ons off in this raid a lot
yeah,
of times.
like being able to turn it off, everything I should theoretically need will be there, barring nameplates. So I am excited to see this kind of stuff, and IO as a healer, this will impact you the most. So hopefully you'll get a chance to test it on the
Why do priests have purple
I
resource bars?
do
Do they use mana?
like
Shadow Priests use Insanity.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool fact.
I do like that
Cool
they
fact.
finally added a thing where it highlights the frame when they have a debuff, because it used to just be a little like icon in the corner
Yeah.
if you didn't have like an add-on for it. So
Yeah.
that's pretty
That's how
much that would be like the number one thing I would have looked at them for changing, and I'm glad to see it in there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
Yeah.
Frank, you remember that conversation we had that we argued about where it's like they should get rid of they should just combine curses, poisons, like all debuffs into just like a
that very
debuff
stupid
category.
argument you had, yeah.
We argued about it. But do you think they're moving that
God.
direction now where they're just like, this is a
No.
dispel. It doesn't
No.
fucking matter what it
No,
is.
look,
This
they
is
have
a
they have
poison.
magic, they have curse, they have poison, they have disease. They still have more.
Bleeds.
Oh, it's disease.
Bleeds.
Yeah,
Cute.
y'all are,
It's
every
cute.
conversation is an argument with y'all, so
They're not
You're
going
the
to
one
remove it, Scrap,
arguing.
because this is a tuning knob that gives them the ability to say
Yeah.
not everything's the same, you know? All right,
Yeah.
so again, I'm excited again. We'll hopefully have some great footage on the beta this week. We can even maybe, IO, if you're willing to stream together, we can put up multiple screens so people can see from both perspectives, stuff like that.
Yeah, we can try.
Okay, what else do we have? Let's talk quickly housing, and then we'll get out of here. What do you think?
Sure.
yeah.
Do you guys have any? I know you guys have been playing the beta. Is there anything specific about the beta that you want them to fix?
No, I mean the only thing I've done in the beta is I've customized. Well, I looked at all the talent stuff and everything and all the changes with my Blood Death Knight, but I just worked on my UI and did a couple. I went through the Silver Moon, like the first quest, and that's it.
So no one's dooming.
No, so I went in. Well, first off, it was tough to play the
No.
beta for the first couple days because of the fish.
Yeah, the fish.
I went in just like Lithian. I wanted to see how the class felt, and I wanted to play around with the UI, which was most of what I did. I don't know why I was kidding myself. I'm not going to build my UI. Like, I'm not that clever and not creative enough. I'm just going to wait till the Wowhead class leader of enhancement, as an example, has theirs built and go, oh, that looks really good. And I'll just take it and then tweak it to my liking. There's no reason for me to have to sit there and say, like, I have to be responsible for this, and to everyone else for that matter. Wago's still going to exist, and they did say you're going to be able to import, export, all that stuff. And that's not including the add-ons that you can use to do any of the other tweaking you want to do. But it was very interesting to see it. And like I said, it's obnoxious the way I built it right now, but I was happy to be able to play around with that. So that's what I've done so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just real quick, a couple things I did want to bring up about the beta. Just because Scrap asked and she reminded me of it. So one thing I'm a little disappointed in, not overall because my class still plays very similarly to the way it does now, but I am a little bummed out that one of the big features of this expansion is them taking, some things away, which makes sense. But I just realized, once I get all my talent points, I'm not really getting anything else to press, and I feel kind of bummed out that like I have less things to press, and I'm not really getting any new toys to play with. How do you
Yeah,
guys feel about that?
I talked about that before, but in a more angry sort of way of like they're saying, oh, we're getting new hero talents, but they're taking so much away that it's like there's no further complexity. They're adding
They're
more talents, but it's
simplifying
being less
things.
complex, right? But it seems weird to add more talents. Why not like take talents away instead?
They're adding
It,
well.
it seemed like the additional talents was very placebo effect. It's like
For some classes,
like
it may be.
right
yeah,
for like Blood Death Knight, everything revolves around your runic weapons or whatever, and they're adding more passive things, and they're making it so much more simple. Which I like the mini games inside my rotation and
me
things like
too.
that,
I
and I
like a
like to track
rhythm.
things, and I share IO's concern. Like I'm a little worried about what's going to happen there, but
Yeah.
I'm I'm going to be optimistic until I have something actual to complain about. But for now, the rotation, like Blood Death Knight rotation, looks great.
Mhm.
The new old ability that they're bringing back, the name of which I forgot, is it looks great and it plays well. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. Consumption, I'm a little worried about the channel thing, but whatever, it'll be fine.
And I should also mention that my class itself wasn't one that was super like planned to change. I know some other people might be having classes that were almost reworked, so maybe for them it's exciting. But I was
Mhm.
just
Well, Io,
saying
you're
in
the one
general.
getting one of the best Apex talents. That yours is like a great example of how they could do it.
But he doesn't
But
care about like
I don't
how
hit the
good it is.
button for that though. Like that just
No, but you
exists.
play against it.
I
I mean, I
mean,
don't have it yet. I'm just talking
I'm
about in
sure,
general.
yeah, I'm sure there's gameplay loops around some of those
Yeah.
things
So
we just don't know about yet.
this is my thought process. I agree that if like because when Beast like Burning Crusade and Lich King came out, I always was super excited to see the new spells we were getting.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
I at like some point, I don't know when, but let's just say around Cataclysm or whatever. I just like I'll give you an example. Alter Time. I don't remember when we got it, but I remember seeing it and going like, "That's a stupid spell. I don't care about that." Not realizing how important it was at the time,
Yeah.
and not learning
Yeah.
about how important it was for like 10 years. Right? There was a point where I was just getting overloaded with all these things, and they weren't really cool. What I'd
Mhm.
rather see them do, which they seem to have done with some classes, is continue to evolve the spell effects or the way that like maybe a spell kind of morphs into a new spell. So, for
Yeah.
example, Arcane Explosion isn't necessarily a big part of the Arcane toolkit anymore, and they have this new, I can't remember what it's called, but like some arcane, like ranged AoE, and it looks
Mhm.
cool, it looks different. And that to me is like, okay, I don't care if I have less buttons. I see
Yeah.
something different. Lithium, we talked about your new like pestilence or whatever it is, that looks and has a different feel to it. And like on the example of Holy Paladin, I remember reading that and going, oh shit, that sounds awesome. And not because it's a new button or not, just because like you're gonna be, I don't know if you will be chasing it necessarily, but you're gonna be like darting around your eyes, seeing like where that thing goes to make a decision based off of how you want to interact with your 3 holy spells or whatever. And that to me is what excites me now. I
I
don't
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about having another arcane spell, you know?
I do
Yes, you're right.
appreciate their dedication to like adding in flashy stuff like that. Like survival's like not rework but rebrand, and they're just like Fury of the Eagle doesn't make sense anymore. We're gonna put in a call it a bomb sort of thing. So that they're still trying to
Whoa, whoa,
streamline
whoa,
and be
whoa.
like, this is what arcane looks like. This is what survival looks like.
You
Um,
appreciate that?
so that's the one thing I don't hate about it. I like the bomb survival. People are like, you're taking away my
Oh my
identity
god.
as whatever the fuck. I think bombs are a core part of
You
the
spent
identity of
3
survival.
episode telling us
I'm
that
not
they're
talking
taking survival
because I'm
off a
worried about
cliff.
the gameplay, not the visuals. The visuals are good. Survival is one of
Okay.
those classes that needed more visual love because there's not a lot going on. So I'm happy with like the visual changes to Fury of the
Okay.
Eagle.
Okay.
I'm said rebrand, not rework specifically. Like I like that. Now
Repackage.
where
Can we say
repackaging, yeah.
Okay.
Where I'm concerned, and I share Io's concern, but maybe less is that like, you know, are they focused on creating fun gameplay loops as opposed to simple gameplay loops? Like, are they emphasizing the simplicity or emphasizing the fun? Because definitely there are simple gameplay loops like Fairy Warrior that are very fun. So complexity does not necessarily equal fun value, but it's a balance, because if you make it too simple, then there's no mastery anymore. So this is something that I'm really gonna have to wait and see, and then maybe rant about. And I think it's gonna be very like
There's
there's
no
so
maybe.
many. There's so many classes and specs. I'm sure there's going to be clear winners and losers when this launches.
It's impossible
which
to
is
avoid that.
something that I am upset about, because I tend to play classes that are losers all the time, forever. But that's a me problem. It's a me problem. But I'm getting more optimistic about it. Just as the fear kind of like, I can't hold on to fear for that long, I guess, and now I'm starting to feel a little bit optimistic. But I'm still reserving the right to fucking hate it. I will continue to reserve that right.
Okay.
Let's talk about housing.
Housing real quick. So
yes, I would
the
love to talk about housing.
skybox
I'm
seems
so
to be
excited.
an official thing that is in the game, and I wanted to show you this. So here's a picture of it. Someone built an outdoor sauna. In fact, I have I think a video of it here. Oh. So
wait, so this is in their house, they have a skybox room?
Yeah.
So they can look outside the window.
Yeah,
Yes,
so they
I'm
built
so excited for this.
right? This is like a banger of a thing, but like, let me see where they can get them to go outside. Here we go. So here's the skybox is on the wall, right? But they built what looks to be like a backyard with snow, and they have a little sauna in the backyard and whatever. And so chef's kiss, awesome thing to add,
Oh, so
right?
cute.
But Wowhead did a competition for people to like submit their own, you know, crazy. Someone has what the hell?
A car? Sick.
Yo, congrats on the lucky loot, brother.
Yeah,
Good
whatever.
job, buddy.
Bro, sick
So
ride.
someone, this is what Stoop's gonna put in his front yard.
I was just gonna say this is Stoop coded as fuck.
Dude,
Stoop totally gonna put that.
evicted.
House, big car.
Oh.
Wait, how do I go back?
So
there we go.
Oh,
is this a room you can go into, or is it just to look out the window into?
I think you can also go into it, but people are using it as a window.
Yeah, you can. You can do either or. Either or. This week on the beta, we'll have the new Night Elf and Blood Elf housing choices to play.
Dude, that's the Blood Elf one. It's kind of that's with all the schmutz on it.
This is someone made it their own thing. Right?
Oh, cool, very cool.
And we also have a preview, if you will, of the colors coming in. So I remember we saw the look. I mean, this is a ton of colors. Like,
oh my god, this is gonna be so much customization.
I love that they also named like Coltier Steel and Netherstorm Fuchsia.
Oh, this reminds me of my color mixing TikToks.
Oh my god, I can't.
Only real ones know.
They really are knocking this out of the park.
They're knocking this out of the park so much, but I'm still concerned. I'm still looking for that gameplay loop element besides, but the customization, it's so beyond knocked out of the park. It's gone. Like,
I was gonna say, but like scrap, like when we all called for player housing, in our mind, did we assume that there would be a
no?
Yeah,
I
so
was
like,
the biggest fucking hater of player housing.
So this is how they go to S++ tier, right? Like, I mean,
yeah, they're doing already above and beyond what I expected when we started this podcast, and Shawnee was talking about housing, and I was like, I'm not gonna fucking play housing. I know they're gonna give us some bullshit like a garrison that I'm not gonna engage with at all. But they are putting so much work into making this like a competition killer, I think, with the level of customization that you can do in an MMO.
Yeah, and again, go back to what people have been doing just on the beta, right? Because this was only open to people in the beta. I feel like in a year's time, we're gonna see some of the most insanely cool stuff.
What is that?
A bear house. It looks like
it's a bear.
Like it looks like kind of like
I see it. It's crawling out of the ground.
But you know, like just like it looks good.
Oh,
that looks good.
Yeah.
And you know, we haven't even seen what like season 2 of the expansion will bring in for more decor. I do want to take a second to call out this website. So it's wowaudit.com.
Ooh, is there updates?
Hold on.
Refresh it.
Hold on, I need to switch it so that people can see the. There we go.
Somebody's claimed the law. Oh yeah. Okay, I see.
So this website allows you and your guild to kind of start plotting out where everyone's wanting to live, right? And yeah, we're really concentrating around here.
Yeah, Zigla took the plot that everybody was eyeing, the one that was left.
So what it does here, I'll scroll down. So you select your first, second, and third choice, everyone in the guild. Without paying like their Patreon, you can do up to 30 characters. So, take that as you will if your guild's big. But we've got people who, like, so Zigla's moving in here, apparently. Here's Haywire. I'm trying to take this plot of land. And so on and so forth. Morty is going to take this plot of land and not do anything about
Mine's
it.
the beach house.
Yep.
No. Scrap and I we're gonna build.
Yeah, I was wondering, can I import a model of my friend? Because I could have Lithian. I want to be able to see Lithian from my window, and I'll have him in the skybox, just like a still version of him fishing or something. So
No, I don't think they'll do that off the bat, but that would be something cool that they could add. I really, okay, so for, just to finish that thought you had a second ago, Scrap, of like the gameplay loop, I really feel like if they want to take this to the like next level, is to find a way to make this like The Sims, where our characters, when we're logged off, are kind of just wandering around like a Sim.
Oh, that would be so. Right? I could see Lithian mowing. I could say my character mows the lawn in the morning. She's asleep at night. Like,
if you bought this company in Boston to build this stuff, they're going to have to do something like to keep their jobs, right? I don't see why not make this into The Sims.
That's good. That's not a gameplay loop exactly. That's another just kind of like another kind of quality thing they could add. What I want for gameplay loop is like Animal Crossing type shit, where I need to fish in June because there's a special thing for my house. I want to collect rocks. I want to walk the beach to find seashells. Like, I want to go digging in the graveyard for dinosaur bones or whatever. I want there to be some kind of like grinding loop that is specifically engaging in the neighborhood, so I get to explore the neighborhood, and also gives me rewards for the neighborhood, specifically for not player power, just like I'm building a couch out of bones I'm finding by Shiv's house, like. But I want a reason to be able to go and look at Shiv's house besides just like checking up on him. Like, oh, I have a little archaeology node by Shiv's house. Oh, I'll check him out. Well, I feel like that's the thing that's missing. It's the one thing that's missing.
Archaeology.
Again, I just wanted to call out how great this website is. You can click, so wowaudit.com, you can click on it. There's a little button here. Oh, it's off to the side on the screen, but you can like watch a video of it. It'll open up a YouTube video to show you like that specific plot. Again, I'm sorry that I've cut it off, but it's a really great website. If you can support them on Patreon, I'm sure they'd appreciate it because they deserve it. But we are using it to map out our guild. And if you're still looking for someone for a neighborhood, you're free to welcome and join our guild if you'd like. We've got a lot more people coming in by the day.
We got a lot of plots. Just not if you want to live on the beach, because that one's full.
a lot of plots in the middle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone just started congregating here. Except for the hermits out here.
That was a random number generator choice.
Yeah, so. I mean, well, you ended up near the beach, but Oz took the really good one. That's lot 31 is like the one by the waterfall overlooking everything. So I'm glad somebody took that one because it'd be a shame to have nobody live there. It's such a fucking cool lot. Yeah, and Tots is up there too. So there's another neighborhood brewing up there. There's a lot of cool lots in that kind of Alterac zone. Yeah. And I'm surprised none of the Elwyn, no one is going for the Elwyn lots.
I just really hope we can fill out, majority, if not all the lots, because I feel like having all of us play in our little sandboxes is just going to fill in this world so much more immersively, and it's just gonna be awesome. So
I think closer to expansion launch, we always have characters who come back in who we haven't seen like play.
Of course.
Months, and all of a sudden they're back and they need a place to lay their hat. So I'm glad that we have a lot of great plots open. There's really not a lot of stinkers, but there's a lot of super awesome plots that will be waiting for them when they come back.
Yep. All right. Well, I was gonna maybe do a wheel update, but we can save that for next time because it's not too much.
It's not going to move probably next week.
Well, no, I was more looking to say like what are some things we've learned so far? Because I've kind of been starting telling
2 months to retrospect it.
Yeah. But we've gotten our mileage out of this episode, because Scrap went on her rant about battle pets again.
It was a pertinent
about
rant.
Everything.
I did rant about a little everything. If you're a longtime watcher, you're gonna hear rants like resurface because I still have unresolved feelings about these sorts of things. So
it's strange because I feel like okay, we changed when we were posting our episodes, thinking
Mm.
that if we post it on Monday, it'll do better. And our last episode posted was one of our worst
But
performing
Frank,
episodes.
I bet if you looked at like the Potty C, I bet their
Yeah,
episodes this
yeah,
week are worse,
yeah.
than ever. Because you saw the WoW charts, nobody's fucking playing the game. Why do
Yeah.
I want to watch a WoW podcast when nothing has
I agree.
changed and nothing's gonna change for
I
2
was
months?
just making the anecdote that like we're gonna try to continue to do this stuff. We will be off next week
Yep.
for the holiday. We'll be back the week, so we'll probably come back right before the launch of the player housing. What is it, December 1st? And then until then, you can catch us on the stream. I know Lithia and Ioski and I, at the very least, will be doing some beta stuff. Hopefully building some Keystone Kindergartens for the YouTubes.
Oh yeah.
But any last words from you, Ioski?
I don't remember who it was on your stream, but somebody asked if we were going to do any add-on recommendations for the beta.
Yeah,
and
we should work on that.
I mentioned we might, but I'll just give a shout out to better Blizz frames for your little unit frame add-ons, your panel and the target panel. Platinator, which we talked about, which was obviously the plate one. There's one called cooldown manager tweaks, which I know Lithian was talking about the padding to 0 and all that, but that might be something that fixes that. I'm not 100% sure. And there's one more. Oh, Dominoes is the one a lot of people are using to get the bars in the middle of the screen and set all that up. So that's another good one. So those are the ones I'd recommend. And this one too, the Sensei class resource bar I've been using for Holy Power. So those ones, those like 4 or 5 are the ones I would say are pretty commonly used and I'd recommend right now.
I went to, or I didn't do it yet, but I meant to see if this would be a good Maelstrom tracker add-on. Because
what's so frustrating about it is that the weak aura that's super simple, just puts a big ass number on your screen, is perfect. You don't need more. I know people have like bars and stuff that show it. You don't even. I just need the number. It's so easy. It sucks that I might not have it.
You'll get it.
My thought process: if Holy Power is not inside the black box, I would be floored if Maelstrom Power was.
But Maelstrom isn't like Holy Power has like a clearer visual element. It's like runic power, or not runic power,
Well,
like your runes and stuff. Like, but Maelstrom is kind of like a nebulous sort of thing. Same with like Tip of the Spear for survival.
It's a nebulous thing.
It's something that they didn't see fit to communicate to you effectively. For
No,
a very long time.
and they acknowledge that, which is why they opened Pandora's the black box, because this was just a recent change in the UI philosophy. Was allowing us to have access to this, and like for example, Stagger is the one they gave as in their blue post.
Yeah, Stagger is in that category of like Tip of the Spear and Maelstrom, I think. Whereas like I think
Which
like
they opened the
Deathlight
box
Runes, Deathlight Runes and Holy Power has visuals elements in the UI that are very clear already, I think.
If it's significant to your rotation in the future, they'll probably allow you to track it.
That's a lot of weight on probably.
I don't know for sure, but I would hope that they're looking at that.
You would say I would hope is probably a better way to put it than probably.
Again, their philosophy is they're going after the things that make the biggest impact right now.
Right.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I'm feeling optimistic. Tentatively optimistic.
I will say a lot of people, Scott, I've been seeing, and this might be bots.
Don't.
A lot of people are being upset about some of the way that like lore is being like Anduin has done stuff. It's like that's not Anduin's.
Well, that's a future rant.
Yeah,
that's
I
future
can't get into the dooming of the gameplay and the dooming of the story are like two separate things in my head. So they're not connected.
I'm guessing for beta, we probably don't want to talk about the story or
the
city too much. We'll probably wait till we get close to the expansion, but I definitely have some things too I can also say based on all things.
I honestly don't want to, if we could avoid, or maybe I'll just skip an episode talking about the story before it launches. But it would be better to do it after it launches. We can do a review of it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, we won't spoil it.
Don't
worry about it.
Well, thank you for calling that, Ioski. Scrap Claw, any last words?
No, I've said enough.
Okay, Lithium?
I've said enough.
I want to go to bed. I'm so tired.
Lithium, did you see Running Man?
No, I still have to go see it.
You jackass.
I've been busy. I got to get around to it, but no, I suggest everybody get like 5 hours of sleep at least.
I'm sick because I didn't get sleep this
today,
weekend for the kids. Scrap, you're gonna go see Wicked this week. I'm gonna see it next week.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna see it. I have a bunch of girlfriends lined up. I'm looking at your tweet right now. I see Jordan has a green heart and a pink heart. I don't know who she is, but
that's Lo-Fi Banshee. That's the one.
Oh, Lo-Fi Banshee. Yeah. So she's probably gonna go see Wicked too. Hey, girl. Like, but yeah, a good thing we're not having an episode next week because I will be launching into a Wicked review. You guys are gonna avoid that now because I will probably have everything out of my system by then.
No, we're not gonna avoid it. It's gonna happen.
Well, you're not gonna avoid it, but the viewers will avoid it.
The viewers maybe.
The viewers will be spared of my Wicked review. Fuck yeah, dude! I can't wait. I'm excited.
All right. Well, we appreciate you all watching again. Next week we're off. We'll be back right before, I guess, the start of December. And continue to watch on twitch.tv/MDLFrank, where we'll be jumping into the dungeons and doing some. God, I wish the raid testing wasn't at like 11 in the afternoon. What the hell's that about? I'm not going to be able to like do that, but whatever. But until then, continue to enjoy the beta, continue to give feedback, and leave those little post-it notes for them to fix the lore and the stories. And we'll see y'all in December. Have a great holiday.
Yep. See you gator owl later.
Jackass.
What was that?